Chapter 11:17. The night was not peaceful. The killing intent of the three scions of chaos spread throughout the city. It could be said that they were unbridled. This made some powerhouses of the great sects somewhat angry. The Great Tao City was the #1 city in the universe. In this sacred city, the three scions of chaos were openly emitting killing intent. They even asked Su Xianren to come out and accept his punishment. Too arrogant. This is the Great Tao City. Why are the people of the Tao Temple mute? Yes, I really hope that Su Xianren will come out and beat them up. So what if they are children of taboo? The 9th scion of chaos was still defeated by Su Yan. I think the 9th scion of chaos is seriously injured, and the three scions can't control their killing intent. Vicious should come out and teach them a lesson. Some people in the city cursed in their hearts. They really felt a sense of injustice towards the children of taboo. They really wanted to see someone come out and teach them a lesson. They wanted to use strength to tell them that the world was not decided by who lived longer. The world was not decided by who had more resources. Haha, Su Yan is such a coward. He doesn't dare to make a move when he meets a tough opponent. When he fought with the 9th scion of chaos, it was completely because he didn't know the origin of the Valley of Chaos. Yes, although he defeated the 9th scion of chaos, the 9th scion of chaos's strongest combat strength was interrupted by heavenly punishment. It can't be said that Su Yan has surpassed the scions of chaos. Moreover, the 9th scion of chaos is the weakest. Some people mocked and ridiculed. There was no lack of enemies of Su Yan. They wanted to see Su Yan's legend shattered because of the 9 scions of chaos. No one would have thought that Su Yan was already holding a dark sword embryo and wandering around the vast Great Tao City. The first place Su Yan went to was the street where the City Lord's mansion was located. The City Lord's mansion was heavily guarded. There were many soldiers patrolling, but these guards were nothing to Su Yan. However, just as Su Yan approached the street, his heart rippled with a chill. It was obvious that Su Yan had sensed that there were shadows with powerful auras lurking in the void ahead of him. As Su Yan approached, he had already been noticed by the experts lurking in the dark. It seems that the 9th son of chaos should be recuperating inside. Otherwise, the security wouldn't be so tight. There are at least 5 divine kings hiding in the void. Su Yan muttered in his heart. How could an ordinary city lord's residence arrange such a lineup? He knew very well that the 9th son of primal chaos's injuries were very serious. Even if he had the essence of the divine medicine, he wouldn't be able to stand up in a short few days. Su Yan wandered around the streets, but in reality, he was observing the direction of the dragon vein. Beneath the Great Tao City, there was a Great Tao dragon vein. There were many branches of the Great Tao dragon vein underground, densely covering the entire Great Tao City. Because of this, the Great Tao City's life essence could be maintained. With Su Yan's identity as a grandmaster of the mystical arts and his mastery of the topography chapter, it was easy for him to figure out the direction of the dragon chi here. Even if the old grandmaster of the Han family was resurrected, he wouldn't be able to do it. After all, Su Yan was the master of the complete inheritance of the topography chapter. Su Yan wandered around for half a day before leaving quietly. When it was almost nighttime, Su Yan went to the area where the 3 sons of chaos were. Ma Iliang of the Ma family is here to visit. He Shengtian of the He family is here to visit. Hong of the Hong family is here to visit the 3 divine kings. The liveliness of this street exceeded Su Yan's expectations. Many young talents came to visit personally, and even some pearls of powerful families came alone. This made the experts who passed by speechless. The Valley of Chaos was indeed the Valley of Chaos. Now that the 3 sons of chaos were entrenched here, it attracted guests from all over. Those who came to visit were all famous. To them, if they could rely on the huge tree that was the Valley of Chaos, it would be considered a meteoric rise. Everyone, my master doesn't have time to entertain you now. However, my master said that after Su Yan is killed, he will host a banquet to entertain all of you. At the place where the 3 sons of chaos were entrenched, some servants with powerful auras walked out. They looked arrogant and didn't pay much attention to these outer realm talents. Only the sagely battle god and the others were more interested. As for the pearls of the various families, these servants snorted. How could these people get close to the three sons of chaos? This was a fool's dream. Haha, Suyin is probably hiding somewhere and doesn't dare to move. Ma Iliang laughed out loud. The three sons of chaos have shaken the entire universe and are invincible. Su Yin knows that he has gotten himself into big trouble and doesn't dare to show himself. That's right. He probably doesn't dare to come to the great Dao City. If the Valley of Chaos needs my help, I'm willing to listen to your orders. Experts from various families gathered here. When they talked about the Valley of Chaos, they were all solemn and respectful. It was as if they were here on a pilgrimage. Their attitude was self-evident. If they wanted to rely on the Valley of Chaos and even follow the three sons of chaos in the future immortal graveyard, it would definitely be a great opportunity. My master's methods are terrifying. Where can a small Su Yin hide? A servant sneered. Since Su Yin has offended the Valley of Chaos, he will not be spared. Just wait. My master has his methods to force him to show himself. However, my master has also said that if Su Yin comes to ask for forgiveness obediently, my master might be able to spare them. When this information was released, the sagely battle god and the others were shocked. The Valley of Chaos had been looking for Su Yin for a year. They probably wanted to get something from Su Yin. Since the three sons of chaos had said so, it meant that Su Yin was very important to them. What are they looking for me for? All of this fell into Su Yan's eyes. He frowned. Could it be that the Valley of Chaos wanted something from him? Boom! All of a sudden, terrifying energy fluctuations surged out from the residence where the experts were pacing back and forth. It was as if three heavenly furnaces were burning at the peak of the firmament, releasing the majestic and boundless fluctuations of the Divine King. For a moment, the firmament turned gloomy and the outer space trembled. These were the auras of the three divine, King blooming, suppressing all life in the universe. Some old divine king lost their composure. If they were facing a boundless ocean, they would be as insignificant as a stream. Just how great was the gap between them? These divine king were truly shocked. With such a terrifying foundation, just how strong were the three sons of chaos? I'm afraid he has a supreme treasure protecting him. It's extremely difficult to calculate his exact location. In the residence, the old ancestor of the Han family had a gloomy expression. Although he was in the form of a primordial spirit, he still had his methods. However, he couldn't deduce Su Yan's location. Su Yan must be found. He is the key to this mission. Ninth brother is really incompetent. Now that he has frightened this little rabbit, it will be difficult to force Su Yan to show himself. There was a wisp of anger in the eyes of the three sons of chaos. One of them said, I think I should return to the valley to retrieve a supreme treasure. A little rabbit can't escape from our palms. I am willing to return with the young master. With the energy of my primordial spirit, we can save a lot of time, the old ancestor of the Han family quickly said. All right, the other two nodded. There's no time to lose. Set off now and return as soon as possible. Swish! Just like that, layers of powerful space-time fluctuations pervaded the residence. The old ancestor of the Han family wrapped the 8 sons with his divine spirit and traversed space-time to save as much time as possible. The aura of the old ancestor of the Han family. He has left the great Dao City. Su Yin caught this scene and was delighted. He thought to himself, the heavens are really helping me. I will show you soon. Su Yin was searching around. The terrain here was similar to the city lord residence. He left after searching for a while. Then, Su Yin found a large store and bought a batch of precious materials. He spent a total of 50,000 caddies of primordial spirit materials. He didn't dare to delay along the way. He found a residence nearby that provided cultivation and rented a cultivation room. He took out the primordial spirit materials and prepared to create a great killing array. Time passed day after day. In the great Luo dynasty's residence, Luo, Yuanzheng, and the others were a little anxious. The situation outside was tense. Even Luo Huaqing was worried and hoped that Su Yin would leave the great Tao city first. After all, since ancient times, no one dared to go against a life-forbidden zone alone. It was said that the 8 sons of the Chaotic Valley had left and were preparing to return to the Chaotic Valley to retrieve a supreme treasure to deduce Su Yan's whereabouts. Su Yan, 5 days have passed. You should consider the consequences carefully. If you come now, you still have a chance to live. But if we find you, you should know the consequences. Don't even think about entering the Chaos Pagoda. As for the immortal graveyard, the whole Great Tao City was filled with rumors and slanders. The aura of the 3 sons of the Chaotic Valley became stronger and stronger. Countless people came to visit every day. Many people praised the 3 sons of the Chaotic Valley for being so powerful that Su Yin didn't even dare to fart. Su Yin is most likely finished. The Chaotic Valley is really serious this time. Looking at the situation, they won't give up until they force Su Yin out. Some people rejoiced in his misfortune, being targeted by a life-forbidden zone. Even a major being would be scared. Now, more and more elites gathered in the city. The Chaos Pagoda shook all day. This meant that it would open soon, definitely not more than half a month. It was very likely that it would completely open in a few days. Another 3 days passed. On this day, the Great Tao City was extremely restless. A terrifying killing intent bloomed, about to sweep through the entire Great Tao City. Boom! In the Source region, it was as if immortals and demons were soaring through the sky. There were roars of shock and anger. It's already been 8 days. Su Yin, you are provoking the dignity of my chaotic valley. Come out immediately. We need an explanation. Otherwise, your entire race will be annihilated. What kind of confidence was this? Who didn't know that Su Yin had a forbidden big brother behind him? But the Chaotic Valley didn't fear any of this. They emitted a cold, killing intent that swept through the entire city. They wouldn't give up until they found Su Yin. Ha ha! Look, Su Yin doesn't even dare to fart now. Ma Iliang laughed out loud. Many of the heavens' prides of various races who had gathered at the residence of the 3 sons of primal chaos sneered. How could a pheasant compare to a phoenix? The primal chaos valley was the true dragon. It looked down on Su Yin as if he was an ant. Bang! However, as soon as Ma Iliang finished speaking, a huge golden hand slammed towards him, carrying with it an overwhelming sense of oppression. Who is it? Ma Iliang turned pale with fright. He wanted to block, but no matter how strong Ma Iliang's aura was, the giant golden hand that descended from the sky was blazing to the extreme. It crushed Ma Iliang's protective divine light and slapped him away. Ah! Ma Iliang screamed, blood spurting from his mouth and nose. It was a tragic sight. The nearby people were stunned. This was Ma Iliang, but he was slapped to the point where he couldn't crawl up. Boom! Immediately after, a figure descended from the sky and stepped on Ma Iliang's body, causing him to scream miserably. His entire body was torn into pieces, and his eyes were filled with despair because he saw a familiar figure that made him terrified. Fawning thing, you deserve to die, Su Yin said coldly, causing an uproar. The entire street continued to shake. Who dares to commit murder again? Did they eat the guts of a true immortal? How dare they behave so atrociously in the territory of the 3 sons of primal chaos? A group of servants under the 3 sons of primal chaos flew into a rage and charged over, wanting to capture Su Yin. A group of servants scram. Su Yin roared, and a fist smashed forward. His aura swallowed the starry sky, and the explosive force was terrifying. The void was blasted through, and the bodies of the 4 great servants exploded into bloody light. Heavens! Everyone on the street was scared silly. He directly used force in Great Tao City, stomped on Ma Iliang, and crushed 4 servants under the 3 sons of primal chaos with a single fist. This was simply more unyielding than the 3 sons of primal chaos. The 3 sons of primal chaos are nothing. Get out here and accept your death. Su Yin stepped on the universe, and even Ma Ilion collapsed. He was like a heavenly martial deity, and his aura surged like a bull. The entire street was shaking, and the door of the official residence directly in front was blasted open. Everyone saw Su Yan's roar shatter a dozen stars in outer space, and they smashed down and crushed the entire official residence. Chapter 11:18. Has Su Yan eaten some immortal's guts? Or does he really think he's invincible? The street was in an uproar. The onlookers were all trembling. What gave him the confidence to attack here? He dared to say that the Sons of Chaos were nothing. He even dared to use force in Great Tao City. As the #1 city in the universe, Great Tao City prohibited the use of force. This was a rule passed down since ancient times. However, Su Xianren directly broke the rule and killed the 4 battle servants under the Sons of Chaos. He even trampled Ma Iliang to death. Su Yan's actions made many people applaud and applaud. They disliked Ma Iliang and the others and said many bad things about Su Yan. However, Su Yan was far too bold. The 3 scions of primal chaos had asked him to come and beg for forgiveness. In the end, Su Yan had acted like a tyrant and killed 4 of their servants. He had even smashed their official residences. Such a tyrannical attitude really alarmed the geniuses gathered here. Many powerhouses who came to curry favor with the Sons of Chaos retreated like snakes and scorpions. They didn't dare to approach the street where the Sons of Chaos were. Although the Sons of Chaos were peerlessly powerful and originated from the Valley of Chaos. However, the world couldn't forget the changes in Great Tao City. The prehistoric Big Brother attacked in a rage and almost wiped out the sealed heaven region. He also had a taboo behind him and didn't fear the revenge of the Valley of Chaos. He attacked just like that. This guy is really audacious. Since ancient times, no one has dared to do this. Far away in the Great Net Dynasty's official residence, Luo, Yuanzheng, and the others were dumbfounded. This was too tyrannical. He directly attacked and destroyed the Sons of Chaos official residence. They were shocked. What method did Su Yan have that he dared to ride on the Sons of Chaos heads? Boom! The entire street was silent. In an instant, 2 divine king waves were released, causing the ruins of the official residence to explode. The entire sky trembled, and the Great Tao seemed to be trembling beneath their feet. 2 divine kings with terrifying auras, bathed in chaotic light, rose from the ground. Bastard, Su Yan, I think you're tired of living. Even if your clan's supreme expert comes, he won't be able to save you. The 2 powerhouses were enraged, and murderous intent shot out in all directions from their eyes. Su Yan's actions were an undisguised insult to their Valley of Chaos. He didn't care about the 9 scions of chaos at all. Su Yan is not the Divine King. What trump card does he have to challenge the 2 supreme Divine Kings of the Chaos Valley? Even Xiaoming would have to think twice. A storm gathered within the city. Su Yan's actions shocked everyone. Countless people were stupefied as the great battle began. No one had expected Su Yan to charge in so forcefully and Tyrant Splitter to attack. Who do you think you are? What's so great about the Valley of Chaos? Do the people of the world have to bow and worship you when they see you? Su Yan shouted. His long hair danced in the wind, and murderous intent shot out from his eyes. This is Great Tao City, not the Valley of Chaos. Since the people of the Tao Church don't dare to come out and clean up these small fries, I'll attack today and destroy your so-called legends. As soon as he said this, a storm raged within Great Tao City. The powerhouses of thousands of sects were shocked. The consequences of Su Yan's words were too severe, and the reputation of the Tao Church was damaged. Many law enforcers of Great Tao City were ashamed. Since ancient times, Great Tao City had been the #1 city in the universe, but the ones who broke the rules were the Valley of Chaos. However, they didn't stop them because the city lord had already given the order. Now, Su Yan's words made them angry, but they couldn't say a word. Although Su Yan also broke the rules, they had no excuse to suppress Su Yan. You audacious bug! My valley of chaos has looked down on thousands of sects in the world since ancient times and is a supreme orthodoxy. How dare a small fry like you come to our door? Die. The two sons of primal chaos flew into a rage, and a terrifying divine king domain gushed out from their bodies. It covered the sky and covered the sun, causing the entire street to tremble. A large number of buildings collapsed, and a huge black crack appeared in the city. A great battle broke out, just like that. No one had expected it to happen so suddenly, and the battle had even started in Great Tao City. The two sons of chaos rushed over, and their power crushed the sun, moon, and stars. The entire street would really collapse. Furious energy waves filled the sky and rushed towards Su Yan. It could be said that they were omnipotent and omnipotent. Just as all of this was about to touch Su Yan, his figure disappeared in a blur, and when he reappeared, he seemed to have become one with the entire street. In the disillusionment of time and space, he instantly summoned a peak-grade, 7 Genesis brush and unleashed monstrous runes. From this moment onwards, the entire street seemed to have been cut off. The major spatial nodes on the street all had formation platforms burning, triggering the dragon chi of the terrain. And the great Tao Genesis brush in Su Yan's hand was inscribing in the void. Triggering dozens of formation platforms was like triggering the vast source of the dragon vein. For a time, tens of thousands of golden dragons drilled out of the entire street. Roar! The divine dragons soared across the sky, and their roars shook the sky. Tens of thousands of divine dragons pierced through the sky, roaring in high spirits and emitting boundless divine power. It was magnificent and majestic to the extreme. The supreme secret technique of the strange gate, Su Yan has triggered the power of the great Tao City's dragon vein. The experts present were all shocked. Even the old sect leader felt a chill run down his spine. Vicious Su had cultivated the mystic gate to such a level and could easily trigger the great Tao dragon veins. This was the city of the great Tao, where boundless divine might was gathered. Once triggered, tens of thousands of dragons would come out of the gate, and their roars would shake the sky. Su Yan, you want to stump us with just a killing formation of this strength? Your death has arrived. Suppress him. The aura of the two sons of chaos became more and more shocking. The chaotic energy rippled from their bodies, spreading in all directions. The two experts emitted a rich light of time, like two immortals and demons born in the chaos. The Divine King's energy was about to pierce through the universe. Their strength was too strong, suppressing the power of tens of thousands of dragons in the sky. A pair of cold eyes stared at Su Yan as if they were looking at a dead man. They said coldly, "Since ancient times, no one has dared to humiliate my chaotic valley. You are the first, and you are destined to die." The two experts walked in the killing formation as if they were walking on flat ground. The chaotic waves rippling from their bodies could crush tens of thousands of dragons. Bragging, "Wait until you come out." As soon as Su Yan's words fell, the field changed. 10,000 dragons came out of the gate, and their roars shook the starry sky. The 10,000 dragons seemed to have turned into a formation platform, receiving the power of the Milky Way from the 9 heavens, causing the aura emitted by the killing formation to be much stronger. This was the intertwining of heaven and earth, forming a field that sealed the sky and the earth. Blazing light rippled, piercing through the sky. The gods were shocked. The killing formation at the pinnacle was activated, and the forces of heaven and earth intertwined, forming a huge gate. Under the nourishment of the forces of heaven and earth, terrifying gods were born one after another, descending from the sky and forming a peerless killing formation. What a terrifying killing formation. I think even the Divine King will be trapped and killed. Su Xianren is too crazy. He used the infinite divine energy of the Great Path City as his foundation to form a killing formation and create a secret technique of the Chiman sect to suppress the two sons of chaos. The experts in the city exclaimed. As time passed, The killing aura emitted by the killing formation became even stronger. There were tens of thousands of stars and tens of thousands of dragons. The two merged, and the killing formation of heaven and earth was born, evolving into the gods of heaven and earth. It was as if the gods and demons of heaven had descended to the world, intimidating the world and looking down on everything, causing the entire killing formation to go completely berserk. Suyin, how could you do this? The experts of the Taoist temple couldn't stand it anymore. Suyin was so unscrupulous in activating the origin of the Great Path City's dragon veins, intending to teach the two sons of chaos a lesson. However, his actions would damage the dragon veins in the city. Moreover, once this killing formation was born, it was peerless and powerful. The world changed color, and the entire Great Path City was rippling with shocking killing aura. Even the two sons of chaos were temporarily suppressed. This was a slaughter formation that Su Yin had spent 25,000 kilograms of chaotic treasures to forge. Coupled with the ability of the occult sect to draw upon the might of the heavens and the earth and develop the profundities of the divine shield, it was utterly impossible for them to break through this formation with ease. Su Yan's cultivation of the Qimeng sect is really at the peak. Luo Yuanzheng and the rest were amazed. They saw the gods evolving in the divine shield, pushing the power of the vast stars and spitting out the qi of the dragon veins. The energy was inexhaustible. This was the Great Path City, which was equivalent to a pure land. Now that the peerless killing formation had been activated, the two sons of chaos couldn't break out of it in a short time. They were facing the vast might of heaven and earth. However, it's a little difficult to trap the two sons of chaos. Don't worry. Since Big Brother has made a move, he definitely won't be strong and weak. He'll definitely teach them an unforgettable lesson, Delise said, full of confidence. In the Great Path City, the killing aura surged. The two sons of chaos also showed their shocking combat strength, easily crushing the stars and roaring the entire killing formation. If it wasn't for the endless power of the killing formation, this formation wouldn't be able to trap them at all. When we break out, Su Yin, I'll make sure you die without a burial place. The two sons of chaos were completely enraged. No one had ever dared to target them so blatantly. Although this killing formation was strong, it couldn't threaten their lives. Kill! The two powerhouses roared and rampaged in the killing formation. However, just when the killing formation was burning to the extreme, on the streets of the City Lord's mansion, a ghostly shadow roamed the terrain and rushed into the City Lord's mansion. Soon, he followed the familiar aura and opened an underground palace. He saw a man who was recuperating. Who's there? The man was alert. When he opened his eyes, his expression changed drastically. He instantly erupted to the extreme, like a demon born in the chaos. He let out a wild roar, and his roar caused the entire underground palace to explode. He was warning his three brothers to come to his rescue immediately. Stop shouting. I'll send you on your way. Su Yin was as cold as a demon. With one move, he suppressed the world, and the collapsed underground palace was directly annihilated. Su Yin was cold and merciless. He used all his combat strength to deal with the ninth son of chaos who was severely injured. There was no suspense at all. What a shocking energy fluctuation. It's coming from within the mansion. The people on this street instantly felt uneasy. They realized that there was a huge change in the City Lord's mansion. However, by the time they realized it, it was already too late. The giant underground palace directly collapsed, and the terrifying fluctuation rushed into the sky. Look, the powerhouses near this street exclaimed. They saw that in the City Lord's mansion, the energy fluctuation swept across all directions and even raised the entire City Lord's mansion to the ground. In the world of billowing smoke and dust, sand and stones flew, and silver blood vaguely bloomed. The scene there was too terrifying. The energy directly caused a huge explosion. The silver blood dyed the sky red. This scene was too sudden, and it made the crowd's hair stand on end. The City Lord's mansion was filled with killing intent. It was all because a figure suddenly unsealed and attacked the underground palace, causing the underground palace to explode and miserable screams to resound. Not good, we've been fooled. The two sons of chaos who were trapped in the killing formation exclaimed. They also saw that the city lord's mansion was filled with blood, and the energy fluctuation was intense. One of the iron-blooded figures attacked. He punched through the chest of the ninth son of chaos and kicked him into the void. The Valley of Chaos is nothing more than this. Su Yin let out a cold voice, and his figure disappeared completely. Chapter 11:19. An extremely furious roar exploded, causing the entire dragon vein killing layout to tremble. Many of the killing formation runes collapsed. Su Yin, you deserve to die. The eyes of the two sons of chaos turned red. Their bodies released a murderous aura as they screamed. The ninth son of chaos had been killed, and Su Yin had even blasted him into pieces. All the gods trembled. After a long time, the Valley of Chaos had dominated the world. They reigned supreme in the world, and the nine sons of chaos continued to be glorious and passed down generation after generation. They were an unbreakable legend. But now, in the great Tao city, Su Yin had made a move and blasted the ninth son of chaos to pieces. Oh my god, Su Xianren killed the ninth son of chaos, blasted Shijie, and even killed him in the city lord's mansion. Everyone went crazy. They screamed uncontrollably. The ninth son of chaos had been killed. Su Xianren had made a move and killed the ninth son of chaos. From then on, only the 8 sons of chaos were left. Su Yin, you bastard. The old man from the Tao Palace nearly went mad with anger. He was the one who had saved the ninth son of chaos. He had wanted to form a good relationship with the Valley of Chaos, but now the ninth son of chaos had been killed by Su Yin in his palace. By the time the Tao Temple's old man arrived, it was too late. His place of seclusion was not in the city lord's mansion. This was what the experts of the Daoyuo dynasty had told him. Otherwise, Su Yin would not have been so bold as to kill someone in front of a mighty figure. Before Su Yin left, he even took away a large amount of treasures from the city lord's mansion. Something big is going to happen. The cultivators in the city all went mad and screamed incessantly. The impact of this matter on them was too shocking. Every single one of them felt their hair stand on end, especially in the area of the killing formation. The two sons of primal chaos were like mad devils, attacking the entire great killing formation until it was riddled with holes. Oh no, the killing array is disintegrating. An array master's expression changed as he whispered, "Isn't Su Yin afraid that the Tao Temple will come after him? But the Tao Temple's people saved the ninth son of chaos, so they are in the wrong. This faction doesn't care about worldly disputes." At first, the onlookers thought that the two sons of chaos were going to break the killing array. Who would have thought that the killing formation would collapse all of a sudden? Tens of thousands of layers of dragon aura surged out and triggered the great Tao dragon veins. Strands of great divine power gushed out, enough to make the divine king tremble in fear, filling up the entire killing formation. The two children of primal chaos screamed miserably. They were attacked by the great Tao dragons, and their bodies were about to collapse upon contact. Under the unmatched impact of the great Tao dragon veins, cracks appeared on their bodies. Silver blood poured out, and the stench of blood surged. This was the pressure of the great path dragon vein. It was unbelievably powerful. Only a powerful person could resist it. Only a level 8 great grandmaster could control it. If Su Yin could control the entire great Tao dragon vein, not to mention killing the two sons of chaos, it wouldn't be too difficult for him to even kill the old antique guarding Great Tao City. After all, this old antique was heavily injured by Big Brother Prehistoric back then. Boom! The entire Great Tao City shook violently. This was because the Great Tao Dragon Vein's foundation was unstable. It was swaying like a group of demons dancing in disorder, wanting to break free from the suppression of Great Tao City. Bastard, Su Yin, I won't forgive you. The old antique from the Tao Palace was so angry that he dug his nose. He stretched out his single arm and used his great magic power to suppress the great Tao Dragon Vein. Su Yin had detonated the killing formation, causing the great Tao Dragon Vein to become unstable. The consequences of this were severe. If it wasn't stopped in time, the damage to the great Tao Dragon Vein would be even greater. This world is too crazy. The Iron Blood King wiped off his cold sweat. The two children of primal chaos had suffered heavy injuries. Their vitality was greatly damaged by the great Tao Dragon Vein. They were howling madly. Who would have thought that they would suffer such a great loss in the hands of Su Yin? If the Strange Gate lineage was given a great Tao Dragon Vein, they really shouldn't be provoked. Some people were speechless. The formation grandmasters in the city were trembling incessantly. This was the strength of the Strange Gate lineage. Su Yan's grasp of the terrain was truly superb. Even though he hadn't cultivated to the 8th realm, he could still draw upon strands of the great Tao Dragon Vein's might. The city began to fall into chaos. Although the two children of primal chaos were still alive, their vitality was greatly damaged. The old antiques from the Tao Palace were on high alert. They were really worried that this madman would kill his way out again and kill the two children of primal chaos. The 9th child of primal chaos was already dead. Once these two died, only heaven knew what kind of tragic event it would cause. After doing all this, Su Yin directly left to meet up with Bao Kai and the others. They were far away from Great Tao City to lie low for a while. This matter also spread out in an uproar, causing the experts of the world to be shocked. They originally thought that the three children of primal chaos could keep Su Yin in check and suppress Su Yan's current limits. In the end, Su Yin set up a great killing formation and severely injured the two children of primal chaos. Even a 9th child of primal chaos was killed by Su Xianren. Unbelievable. Who would have thought that the Valley of Primal Chaos, which looks down on the world, would suffer a great loss at the hands of Su Yin? He even killed one of them. The world exclaimed. Su Xianren was still Su Xianren. After disappearing for more than a year, he once again appeared, crippling the 9th child of primal chaos and causing the Valley of Primal Chaos to lose face. This was the Valley of Primal Chaos that looked down on thousands of sects, not an ordinary force. Su Yin killed the 9th child of primal chaos and even used force in Great Tao City. Some experts from the Ancestral Hall heard this news and weren't surprised. They said coldly, "Our clan Zhu Tian of this generation has fallen at the hands of Su Xianren. Although your Valley of Primal Chaos is strong, it doesn't mean that you're stronger than our Zhu Tian. If Su Yin is really suppressed by a puny 9th child of primal chaos, where will our Zhu Tian's face go? The current Su Yin, probably won't expect our clan Zhu Tian to still be alive. In fact, our clan's Zhu Tian imprint is the most invincible and glorious symbol. Once a new Zhu Tian appears, it will definitely be Su Yan's doomsday." Some experts from the Ancestral Hall had malevolent expressions. The universe was changing and the most terrifying era was about to arrive. When that time came, the lives of all the geniuses in the world would be as cheap as paper. In the Ancestral Hall's Zhu Tian, a mythical imprint that had accumulated for countless years, would bloom in this universe epic. Moreover, that day was already approaching. At that time, what would Su Yin count for? In an extremely distant region, clouds and mist rose. At the end of the horizon was a territory created by Qianqi. It was suspended at the peak of the heavens, and in front of this territory, the sun, moon, and stars were as insignificant as dust. This territory flowed with the light of the great Tao and gushed with a divine aura. It was extremely terrifying and extraordinary. It shone on its own, suppressing the universe until it became dim and trembled. It was like a terrifying supreme treasure, suppressing the universe until it lost its color. It was as if this was a supreme, pure land that surpassed the universe's laws. If a powerhouse were to see it, they would tremble in fear. This was a prehistoric world that had been refined into a territory. It floated here, suppressing the universe until it became dim. Even the laws couldn't be revealed. It was like a majestic imprint covering the sky. Above the territory, a vague figure sat cross-legged. He was like an ancient immortal, possessing a dignified, divine, and dignified aura. He was like a high and mighty emperor. At this time, an old man with a powerful aura walked over. He respectfully bowed towards the dignified man and addressed him as Little Ancestor. If an outsider were to be shocked again, he would be the Ancestral Hall's ancient ancestor, a powerhouse from the last universe epoch. He had sealed himself in this era and was now one of the Ancestral Hall's most powerful Vice Hall masters. The Chaos Valley has appeared. The Ancestral Hall's ancient ancestor spoke. The ninth child of primal chaos has been killed by Su Yin. Chaos Valley. This cross-legged figure seemed to have been silent here for millions of years. His figure finally moved a bit, and a world-shattering aura surged out. His eyes, in particular, were even deeper than the blue dome of heaven. Apart from the first child of primal chaos, the rest are all trash. He spoke with a calm voice full of calmness and deterrence. Has the first child of primal chaos left the mountain? The Ancestral Hall's ancient ancestor shook his head, sighing inwardly. He said that apart from the first child of primal chaos, the rest were all trash, including the supreme powerhouses. To the little ancestor, the taboo realm was his true goal. It wasn't too difficult for him to step into the realm of powerhouses. Generations of ancestral heavens had served him throughout the endless years, stealing the essence of an incomplete universe's Tao inheritance. At the same time, he sat cross-legged in this prehistoric environment, verifying it with the current environment and deducing an even more terrifying path of invincibility. Little Ancestor, the primal chaos pagoda has opened. Do you want to go down? Zhu Tian shook his head. My path has been perfected, and the primal chaos pagoda can't affect me. This should be the last time the primal chaos pagoda is opened. Even that person from the Tao Palace failed, and no one has any hope of completing it. The things left behind by that power are simply too terrifying. Even those from the ancestral land might not be able to forcefully open it. The Ancestral Hall's ancient ancestor turned pale. Speaking of the ancestral land, he couldn't help but think of Su Yin. In fact, he still wasn't sure if the person the ancestral land had given him was Su Yin or not. You should cultivate here for a period of time. Zhu Tian closed his eyes and fell into silence. Many thanks, little ancestor. The Ancestral Hall's ancient ancestor was moved. This was a flawless world with a complete universe environment. Cultivating here for a period of time could be considered a great opportunity. As for little ancestor's refusal to mention Su Yin, he also understood that Su Yin was just a bumpkin in his eyes. They were not on the same level at all. Only a few people were valued by him. So few that it was pitiful. Big news. A Pinnacle Universe secret realm opened a year ago, suddenly dried up, and is now self-destructing. In the chaotic ruins, a sudden news spread, attracting the attention of all the old sect leaders. They saw that the complete universe secret realm from a year ago was now in a state of collapse. They were all stunned. What was going on? No one noticed that it was a curvy golden woman wearing golden armor. She disappeared from the dark universe secret realm. Her figure was impressive, and her golden hair draped over her shoulders. It could be said that she had the golden ratio, and her snow-white skin was sparkling like jade. Behind her floated a huge bronze tree that supported the sky, absorbing the essence of the universe. The ancient bronze tree was filled with all kinds of weapons. At the top of the tree was a peerless and terrifying halberd. Vaguely, there was an eternal and indestructible figure standing in time and space, wielding this halberd. Su Yin. He's really made a name for himself. The Golden Lady was as cold as an ice mountain. She walked through the void with her long legs. Along the way, she heard some news. Her golden eyes overflowed with divine light as she muttered to herself. It's a pity that this universe is still damaged and can't nurture a true Jia. Even if the immortal graveyard opens, what can it change? How glorious and prosperous was this place in the past? She left along a path. There were some accounts that needed to be settled. Back then, Su Yin had stolen her harvest, and it was still fresh in her mind. If not for the fact that she had been nourishing the weapon tree all these years and had no time to care about Su Yin, she wouldn't have waited until now. Chapter 1120. Great Tao City had become the gathering place of the universe's storms. The three scions of chaos gathered once more. They were like immortals and demons that had returned from ancient times. They emitted rich fluctuations of time and released a pressure that originated from the river of time and space. They didn't say a word. Ever since the ninth scion of chaos was killed, the words that told Su Yin to scram here and beg for forgiveness had never appeared again. Who didn't know that Su Yin had relied on his own strength to trap the other two scions of primal chaos and kill the ninth scion of primal chaos? Not to mention that Su Yin had relied on external help. He had truly accomplished it and taught the three scions of primal chaos a bloody lesson. If they want to use a supreme treasure to deduce Su Yin's whereabouts, it will most likely be extremely difficult to succeed. Some people secretly said in their hearts, ever since the ninth scion of chaos died, the young people that came to curry favor with the three scions of chaos had greatly decreased. Now, Su Yan's ferocious might had shaken the world. Who could keep him in check? The ninth scion of chaos had died with a grudge. Even the old antique overseeing Great Tao City had not been able to stop Su Yin. I really hope the three scions of chaos find Su Yin. If the two of them fight, they might be able to cripple Su Xianren and cut off his path to the Chaos Pagoda. I have a feeling that Su Yin is a bit strange. He might be able to obtain the Chaos Pagoda. What are you thinking about? Millions of years have passed. Who has obtained the Chaos Pagoda? It is said that even a Tao Temple powerhouse that survived the Hell Temple did not obtain the Chaos Pagoda. The Chaos Pagoda is a sacred object. It is a land of inheritance that no one can control. It is a supreme treasure of the universe. Now, everyone in the world was paying attention to the Chaos Pagoda. Regardless of race, everyone could enter the Chaos Pagoda to train. Moreover, the inheritances within were extraordinary. Many races in the world prospered because of the Chaos Pagoda. Over time, the Chaos Pagoda status was too high. Otherwise, it would not have been known as the strongest supreme treasure in history. Let's go. The Chaos Pagoda should be opening soon. Su Yin traveled for 10 days and 10 nights. Seeing that there was no activity in the Chaos Valley, he hurried in the direction of the Chaos Pagoda. Su Yin was especially looking forward to the Chaos Pagoda's Hall of Hell, a place that could cause the old leader's myriad tribulation body to transform. He wanted to know just what kind of trial existed. The Chaos Valley didn't come. Otherwise, we would have killed them, Bao Kai said with an unfriendly expression. For the past few days, Su Yin and the others had been camping in a dangerous place. Even if the mighty figures of the Chaotic Valley came, they would not be able to get away with it. Furthermore, if the dragon totem was used, even the mighty figures would have to suffer. Unfortunately, the experts of the Chaotic Valley did not come to find him. Su Yin quickly approached the Chaos Pagoda. Even though he had seen it several times, he could only describe the scene in front of him as shocking. The grand and massive primal Chaos Pagoda was like a giant pillar that supported the heavens. It was unknown how many tens of thousands of feet tall. It was difficult to measure its height. It was as if it was rooted in the depths of space and time. The body of the pagoda pierced through the vast world, flowing with millions upon millions of strands of primal chaos light. Within 10,000 miles of the primal chaos pagoda, no one could approach. Because of this tower, even if one was 10,000 miles away, one could still be suppressed by the heavy power of the primal chaos pagoda. Even the divine king could not bear it and left the primal chaos pagoda. How heavy is it? Su Yin muttered in his heart. If this gigantic pagoda that supported the sky was really used, would it be able to crush an almighty expert? The primal chaos pagoda was known as the most powerful treasure in history. Some people even called it the origin artifact of the universe. Although these were only rumors and could not be confirmed, the primal chaos pagoda was truly terrifying. However, this primal chaos pagoda was truly terrifying beyond compare. Even a supreme being would not be able to forcefully take it away. And even a taboo was no exception. The primal chaos pagoda. Has it surpassed the ranks of supreme treasures? Also, what level are the 6 supreme treasures on the God Burial Mountain? Isn't it too wasteful to place them on the God Burial Mountain? Su Yin pondered in his heart. Could he find a chance to take the 6 supreme treasures in the future? However, according to his understanding, the strongest weapons in the world were supreme treasures. No matter how strong a weapon was, he did not know what level it was. For example, the strongest was the taboo realm, but were there any realms above the taboo realm? Su Yin wasn't sure. He felt that he should have reached the peak, right? Bang! All of a sudden, a strange sound rang out, as if the starry skies of the universe were shaking. The sound was soft, but the effect was great. It spread through millions and millions of territories. Is it about to open? Su Yan's pupils shrank as he stared at the primal chaos pagoda. It was shaking. It was heavy and grand. Once it began to shake, it would surely cause the heavens and earth to collapse. But this did not happen at all. The world rose and fell with the primal chaos pagoda. Between the heavens and earth, the great Tao resonated and the light of order bloomed. Vast ripples of rules spread out. This scene was extremely magnificent, shaking the distant world. The primal chaos pagoda is about to open. A powerhouse shouted out, spreading through the vast lands. It caused millions of geniuses to shout out in excitement. Countless living beings were stirred up. They had been waiting for this moment for several years, and there were even some who had been waiting for this moment for over 100 years. On this day, the primal chaos pagoda was about to open. This was clearly a bit sudden for them. The moment the primal chaos pagoda opened, it caused the vast lands to shake. It was dazzling to the extreme. The primal chaos pagoda has opened. Countless cultivators cried out, flocking towards the primal chaos pagoda. Every move was accompanied by the cries of millions and millions of creatures. This was the beginning of a golden age. In all directions, millions and millions of miles away, a terrifying world power was born. 99% of the heavenly talents were suppressed until they were dim and without light. This was the most powerful golden age of the universe. Too many cultivators flocked towards this place, gathering the Yingjia of the entire universe. They were densely packed and innumerable. Who will be able to stand at the top of this golden age? The older generation sighed. In such a grand situation, just how many people could stand out and prove their Tao? One day without becoming a powerful being, one day without becoming a giant, one day without becoming a powerhouse. No matter how powerful a genius was, as long as they were stuck at the barrier of becoming a powerful being, they were destined to be submerged in the long river of history. It was still the world of a powerful being. Golden Age? It doesn't exist. It has never appeared before. The 3 sons of primal chaos arrived. Their expressions were cold and arrogant. In their hearts, a golden age did not exist because it belonged to them. In the future, when the universe's environment changed, only then could it be called a golden age that belonged to them. This was an extremely lively scene. Even Su Yin sighed in amazement when he saw this. The region he was in was only a 10,000th of the primal chaos pagoda, but this place was already packed to the brim. There were too many people, and he even saw quite a few old divine king who were about to enter the earth. These old experts wanted to take a risk in the primal chaos pagoda. Who knows? They might be able to seize a great opportunity and become a powerful being in the future. One had to know that the experts who had the qualifications to enter the primal chaos pagoda had all obtained the stone pagoda's imprint and had outstanding achievements in a certain domain. The universe was so vast that it was difficult to measure. There were so many races that it was impossible to count them all. Now, the primal chaos pagoda had summoned no less than 1 trillion creatures. It was difficult to imagine just how magnificent this scene was. Primal chaos pagoda, I'm coming. A large number of cultivators madly rushed over, but none of them dared to approach within 10,000 miles. The primal chaos pagoda was shaking. It was like a giant pillar that supported the heavens, vast and majestic. It released the light of the great Tao and illuminated the starry skies of the universe. It was grand to the extreme. In front of it, the trillions of creatures seemed insignificant and insignificant. They were like a speck of dust in the universe. Only when the primal chaos pagoda truly awakened would the people of the world realize how terrifying it was. The divine king was the same. This shocked all the powerful beings who were watching from afar. Just what level of supreme treasure was the primal chaos pagoda? During the night, the pagoda suddenly blazed. Countless mysterious symbols flashed on the primal chaos pagoda's body. It was as if 10,000 characters were carved on it. They were complex and profound, and it was difficult to comprehend their meaning. Suyan's expression changed slightly. He stared at the 10,000 mysterious ripples burning within the primal chaos pagoda. It was as if he could see the 10,000 universes being carried by the primal chaos pagoda. The Qiangqi profound was evolved to the extreme, and even the source energy of the great Tao was born. Do you see it? There is a complete great Tao above the primal chaos pagoda. If you can comprehend even one of them, it will be a world-shocking fortune. You will definitely become a powerful being in the future. The older generation's words left the younger generation cultivators shocked. Someone asked, "Who forged the primal chaos pagoda?" It must be a powerhouse who has reached the peak of good fortune. Even a supreme being cannot do this, right? This question stumped many powerhouses. No one knew the origins of the primal chaos pagoda. The supreme beings stationed far away also believed that it was impossible for a supreme being to do this. Could it have been refined by a taboo? This was an eternal question that no one could answer. Suyin, on the other hand, felt that it was as if it was nurtured by the heavens. It really was like an artifact born from the universe. It carried the boundless great Tao, and every great Tao could lead to a supreme being powerhouse. This couldn't help but shock everyone. Wasn't this a bit too frightening? Could a cultivator really refine such a grand project? No wonder no one could obtain the primal chaos pagoda. It was like the crystallization of the universe. How could the people of this world easily grasp the primal chaos pagoda? If they could truly grasp it, then the conditions were extremely harsh. It really is a work of the gods. Su Yin was secretly dumbfounded. He inspected the 10,000 great Tao ripples. Even as heavenly, I felt a stabbing pain. It was difficult to forcefully pry into its profound mysteries. Without a doubt, if he wanted to obtain any harvests, he had to take a walk around the primal chaos pagoda. These supreme beings are paying attention to the primal chaos pagoda from afar. It's likely that they'll be able to reap some benefits. Unfortunately, they can't enter and can only stare. Su Yan's gaze swept the surroundings. He saw many supreme beings stationed nearby. They were gazing at the primal chaos pagoda from afar, silently calculating. Supreme beings couldn't enter the primal chaos pagoda because they had already cultivated a complete great Tao. Only those who could sever their own great Tao could enter the primal chaos pagoda to undergo trials. But since ancient times, who had the courage to sever their own great Tao? I wonder how many geniuses will be able to last a year in the primal chaos pagoda this time. A group of old experts from the Tao Palace gathered together to discuss. Someone said in a low voice, "In the previous universe era, there were 100,000 living beings who managed to hold on for a year. In this era, there are so many heroes in this world. I estimate that there will be 200,000 to 300,000 living beings. Our Tao Church doesn't need these." An old expert laughed. Challengers can stay in the trial space for at most a year. Within a year, they can open the trial space's door and head to the next trial area. These geniuses are the ones that our Tao Church needs to pay attention to. They can even break through the third, fourth, and even fifth trials. Boom! All of a sudden, the primal chaos pagoda trembled. It changed and rapidly expanded. Su Yan's heart trembled. The primal chaos pagoda had suddenly become countless times more terrifying. It even gushed out millions upon millions of streams like the roots of heaven and earth. It was peerlessly terrifying and vast. It caused the universe's origin great Tao to resonate and descend with auspicious radiance. It was extremely dazzling. At this moment, Su Yan's physical body was uncontrollably revived. He appeared extremely terrifying. His body burned and emitted a peerless heavenly might. I need it. Su Yan had never desired it so much. He needed the heaven and earth streams gushing out of the primal chaos pagoda. He was like the origin of the universe, the carrier of the great Tao, and the foundation of the world. He needed such resources to perfect himself. Chapter 11:21. Who's there? The expressions of the experts in this area changed as goosebumps appeared all over their bodies. Many people's legs went soft as they trembled under the pressure of Su Yan's suddenly awakened aura. Su Yan's awakening was too sudden and completely out of his control. His body was blazing and his pores were gushing out resplendent beams of light. His body flowed with a terrifying heavenly might as the might of his constitution bloomed and suppressed all life in the universe. Many young geniuses nearby were terrified and uneasy. What's going on? Tensor and the others were astonished. Why was Su Yan awakening uncontrollably? Su Yan was also astonished. His eyes stared fixedly at the primal chaos pagoda, which was gushing with surging Xianhuang qi. He also found it difficult to understand what this substance was and why it would cause his constitution to tremble. What kind of substance is this? It can actually repair the defects in my body? Su Yan's heart was full of astonishment. Even the energy of the reincarnation universe couldn't repair the defects in his constitution. However, he felt that this Xianhuang qi could help him unlock the most powerful treasure in his body. At the same time, Su Yan was frantically suppressing the energy fluctuations in his body. However, it was already too late. There were many experts gathered in this area, and many people could immediately see that it was definitely Su Xianren. He's Su Yan, Su Xianren. The nearby people were trembling with fear. They certainly didn't expect to be so close to Su Yan. This legendary character made it difficult for them to look directly at him. Their hearts were filled with reverence. Su Yan, he's here. He's really hidden himself well. Why is he awakening now? In a distant area, the eyes of the three scions of primal chaos blazed and surged with cold, killing intent. Their gazes immediately locked onto Su Yan, and their hearts were filled with shocking anger. At first, they had asked the Han family's ancestor to calculate his whereabouts. Unfortunately, the Han family's ancestor said that Su Yan must have found a place to hide. They weren't surprised that Su Yan had come here, but what was the reason for Su Yan's awakening? Shouldn't he be hibernating? This evil creature, the old ancestor of the Han family, also noticed Su Yan. The fluctuations of his awakening were too vast, suppressing an entire region. In a short period of time, he had attracted the attention of many experts. The Han family's ancestor clenched his fists. Previously, the three scions of chaos had asked him to calculate Su Yan's whereabouts, and he had indeed sensed it. However, the Han family's ancestor hadn't said anything. What a joke. The ninth scion of primal chaos was already dead. Unless the first scion of primal chaos intervened, the three scions of primal chaos would not be able to suppress Su Yan. Moreover, the old ancestor of the Han family was truly terrified. Su Yan actually wanted him to calculate his own whereabouts. He was a grandmaster of the occult arts, so he was very clear about his own methods. If he really hid, then it would be impossible for him to calculate Su Yan's whereabouts. He was worried that he would be fooled, so he did not reveal Su Yan's whereabouts. If the three scions of primal chaos were to join forces and attack, he was afraid that the three scions of primal chaos would die at the hands of Su Xianren. He had even severely injured an almighty before, let alone the three scions of primal chaos. What if the 4 scions of primal chaos died in the Valley of Primal Chaos? The old ancestor of primal chaos would truly despair. He would probably be on his way before he even saw Su Yan's corpse. Could it be? The 3 scions of primal chaos were experienced and knowledgeable. Their pupils immediately noticed the vast Xian Huang qi gushing out of the Chaos Pagoda. One of them said in a low voice, "Could it be because of this substance?" "That's impossible." The 8th scion of primal chaos's expression turned cold. "This is the Xian Huang root, the source of the universe. Who can absorb it? I'm afraid one would explode from the pressure. Even an almighty is no exception. This substance is only available to the taboo. But how do you explain Su Yin being so strong?" The other 2 scions of primal chaos shook their heads and said in a deep voice, "Su Yin, I reckon that he has a great fortune. He should have a prehistoric physique. Perhaps he has been sealed by the burial regions race until now. His bloodline is also extraordinary. Otherwise, how could he compete with Ninth Brother?" "That makes sense." The other 2 scions pondered, their expressions uncertain. If Su Yin had obtained some Xianhuang roots, then there was a big problem. He might have borrowed the Xianhuang roots to make up for the flaws in his physique. Just like how Tsang Tian used the heavenly Tao stone to make up for the flaws in his physique, Su Yin would be even stronger than before. Since Su Yin could kill the 9th scion of primal chaos, that was enough to prove his potential. Moreover, with Su Yan's talent, he would definitely have great achievements in the Chaos Pagoda. Since he has provoked my Chaos Valley, he will not be able to enter the good fortune of the Chaos Pagoda. The eyes of the 3 scions of primal chaos flashed with killing intent. Their faces were cold and gloomy. They would make him forever remember the miserable fate of provoking the Chaos Valley. Su Yin had already regained his composure. His eyes were filled with bewilderment as he paid attention to the source of the primal chaos spewing out from the primal chaos pagoda. He was thinking that even if he could obtain a strand of the substance spewing out from the primal chaos pagoda, it would be a great opportunity for Su Yin. This energy substance, could it be the source energy of the chaos pagoda? Su Yin thought to himself, if I want to obtain it, it will be extremely difficult. If I have great achievements in the Chaos Pagoda, will I be able to obtain this substance? This matter concerned the evolution of Su Yan's physique. Su Yan had no choice but to take it seriously. If he missed out on this opportunity, he would likely never come into contact with this substance again in the future. In the past, the old chief couldn't have obtained this substance in the Hall of Hell, right? Su Yan muttered to himself. If there was a substance that could evolve one's physique, he estimated that it was most likely related to it. Now, Su Yin placed all his hopes on the Hall of Hell. But in this land of death, the chances of him coming out alive were extremely slim. The root of chaos, the source of the universe. I never thought that the substance I was searching for would be here. It seems that the changes in the universe are closely related to the Chaos Pagoda. A golden goddess rushed over. She was like a goddess of the sun. Her proud figure was wrapped in golden armor that outlined her curvaceous figure. Her long and slender legs were snow white, and her perfect figure seemed as if it were carved from jade. She had a golden ratio, a slender waist, and a full chest. If it weren't for the Chaos Pagoda's opening drawing the attention of everyone present, this golden goddess charm would have caused a great disturbance. Bang! The Chaos Pagoda began to shake and expand. It gushed out a vast and boundless root of heaven and earth. It was divine to the extreme. Some people felt that it was millions and millions of times more vast than before. Su Yin felt as if he were an ant looking up at an azure dragon. The Chaos Pagoda changed. The pagoda's body seemed to vanish as it transformed into 10,000 great Tao domain gates. It was mysterious and unfathomable. The Chaos Pagoda has over 10,000 trial gates. Everyone was shocked. They never thought that there would be so many. Moreover, according to their understanding, this was only the most basic trial. There were even more powerful trial spaces. Only by performing well in the basic domain gates would one be able to enter the next checkpoint. In simpler terms, the greater one's potential, the greater the trial they would encounter. Everyone can choose their own trial grounds in the Chaos Pagoda. An expert from the Tao Church said loudly, "I suggest you choose a trial ground that is attractive to you. Those who want a challenge, it can go right now." It opened just like that. Many people were stunned. Then, large groups of cultivators swarmed over and charged over. Along the way, they felt that they were very far away from the gate because it was too grand and vast. They used all their strength to charge towards the gate. In fact, what most people didn't know was that the trial had already begun. The Tao Church experts knew that 80 to 90% of these millions of creatures wouldn't even be able to enter the gate. This was an extremely cruel reality. Not everyone could enter the Chaos Pagoda to accept the trial. These domain gates are all attractive to me. Forget it, I'll just go to any trial space and enter the Chaos Pagoda first. This hall isn't so easy to enter. Su Yin and the others also moved. He walked towards a domain gate filled with terrifying power. During this process, the pressure was immense. Su Yin felt as if he was being suppressed by a million mountains. His movements were somewhat slow. The journey was somewhat long. The domain gate seemed close at hand, but it was actually a critical juncture. It was like a heavenly path that was difficult to reach. Wong. Su Yin released his aura and charged forward. He was like a real dragon in human form. Hundreds of thousands of creatures were shocked, including the sagely battle god. He whispered, "It's Su Yin. His physical body is so terrifying. He also chose this path. Why do I feel that Su Yin has the indestructible body?" The sagely battle god's expression was uncertain. Su Yin was in a trial space that tested the physical body. However, under the pressure of the trial space, Su Yin's aura was still ferocious and far surpassed them. No matter how the indestructible body chased, he couldn't catch up to Su Yin. He felt a great sense of defeat. His choice was very decisive. He chose to retreat directly. The sagely battle god didn't want to stay in the same trial space as Su Yin. He was worried that he would be beaten to death by Su Yin. "Su Yin, this path is blocked. Choose another path." A cold voice suddenly came. The hundreds of thousands of creatures on this path were scared. The three signs of primal chaos were here. They walked step by step towards Su Yin. The space they stepped on seemed like it was going to collapse. The special domain formed by the domain gate was going to be shattered. Su Yin frowned and looked back at the three signs of primal chaos. What he was worried about had happened. The three signs of primal chaos were here with bad intentions. They had chosen the same trial space as him. Once they met, it would be a bloody battle. This is bad. Su Xianren is going to be unlucky. This scene was caught by the experts outside. Their expressions changed. The three signs of primal chaos were blocking Su Yin and preventing him from obtaining a great opportunity. "Su Yin, you should never have provoked the valley of primal chaos." The three signs smiled and were full of confidence. They joined forces and shouted, "Why aren't you leaving? If you perform well, we might spare your life." The three signs of primal chaos are here. The divine king would be suppressed to the heavenly deity realm. But with the three of them joining forces, Su Xianren would also nurse a grievance. Nearby, there were creatures who had chosen the same path as Su Yin. They all hoped that Su Yin and the others would enter. However, what made these creatures' faces turn green was that after Su Yin caught these words, a brilliant smile appeared on his face. "Since this is a trial space, and they are all heavenly deities, why should I fear them? I can also use this opportunity to temper my path." Su Yin didn't even look back as he charged into the giant domain gate. The three signs of primal chaos were his whetstones. Does this guy really think he's invincible? He should be avoiding the three signs of primal chaos for now. But Su Xianren just had to charge in. Many people felt a headache coming on. If Su Yin was blocked by the three signs of primal chaos in the trial space, his death rate would be too high. But Su Yin had already entered. It was impossible to change the trial space now. He's courting death. Let's help him. The three signs of primal chaos wore icy expressions as they charged into the domain gate together. Chapter 1122. The Grand Realm entrance was vast and magnificent. When one stood beneath this trial realm entrance, they would seem minuscule and insignificant. Su Yin withstood the great pressure as he charged into the realm entrance. He was the first to enter. What entered his eyes was a massive Tao platform. It was brightly colored and filled with the fluctuations of time, emitting a heavy feeling of history. The Tao platform was massive and bronze in color. It was large enough to hold 1,000,000 lives. As Su Yin stood atop the Tao platform, he felt especially small, like an ant. The moment he entered, the Tao platform surged with a special energy that pierced through Su Yan's body. At this moment, he felt as if he had been sealed. The source of the great Tao receded, leaving behind only a shell of flesh that shined and rippled with blood essence. Even his cultivation realm seemed to be weakened. Su Yin was startled. His cultivation realm had fallen from the 7th level of the heavenly god realm to the 1st level of the heavenly god realm. Su Yin felt a sense of weakness. After all, he had lost so much of his strength. How could he not be weak? He couldn't help but sigh. The Chaos Pagoda was mysterious. Countless lives rushed in, but at the same time, it sealed the strength of the challengers. Just what is this trial about? Su Yin stood atop the massive Tao platform, surveying his surroundings. He felt a pressure that came from the battle platform, suffocating him. It was like a boulder was pressing down on his heart. Su Yin didn't know the conditions to pass this trial. This was the most difficult part. Many people came in, but even if they stayed here for a year, they still didn't know what the conditions were. Thus, they were all thrown out. I'm afraid the trial conditions are hidden in space. Su Yin thought to himself. He surveyed the massive stone platform, hoping to find some clues from it. But he found nothing. It seemed that he really had to slowly explore and comprehend it. Perhaps once he comprehended the Tao arts hidden in space, he would be able to break open the trial space and enter the next trial space. According to Xiaoho's explanation to Su Yin, as long as he performed well in the trial, he would have a chance of opening the legendary Hell Palace. The Hell Palace was perhaps the final trial of the Primal Chaos Pagoda. It was also the most difficult trial. In the past, many geniuses had entered the Hell Palace, but only 2 people had come out alive. One of them was a mysterious expert from the Taoist temple that everyone knew. It was difficult to trace his origins. There was also an old leader that the world did not know about. In the Hall of Hell, his physique had evolved. The Hall of Hell was a place that Su Yin wanted to explore. No matter how dangerous it was, he wanted to try. The old leader had once said that the Hall of Hell was like a training ground that was tailor-made for the myriad tribulation body. Then, perhaps to their bloodline, the danger of the Earth Palace was not particularly great. After all, it could allow one's physique to evolve. Back then, when the old chief had asked Xiaoho to tell Su Yin to challenge the Earth Palace, the old chief had not said much about the things to take note of when challenging the Earth Palace. The main reason was that the old leader had missed out on some things back then. He wanted Su Yin to explore the world alone. Perhaps the rewards would be even more astonishing than his. Boom! It was also at this moment that 3 figures closed in. Their auras were terrifying, like immortals and demons that had walked out from the primal chaos. They were tyrannical and overbearing, staring at Su Yin with unfriendly gazes. They wanted to attack him. It was also at this moment that the 3 figures trembled violently. The originally powerful Divine King's aura was instantly shattered. His cultivation level rapidly fell, and he was soon suppressed to the 1st heaven of the heavenly god realm. Their auras were declining, but they were still extremely powerful. For example, the 3 great heavenly gods of primal chaos were particularly eye-catching even on this grand Tao platform. The 3 figures' expressions were cold, their eyes filled with cold intent. They were not surprised because they had once explored the Chaos Pagoda. Over time, they had lost interest in the Chaos Pagoda. Now, they had entered just to target one person. Su Yin, we meet again. When they saw the figures standing in front of them, they had smiles on their faces. This was a mocking smile. They looked at Su Yin like a cat catching a mouse. Didn't you suffer enough in the great Tao city last time? Do you want to do it again? Su Yin was very calm. He had come here to train, to suffer, to transform himself, to become stronger. Therefore, his mind was relaxed, incomparably relaxed. In the future, he would explore the Earth domain. If he could not even survive the 3 scions of primal chaos, what was the point of going to the Earth domain hall? Su Yin, you are very confident. It seems that you have accumulated enough courage in the cultivation world over these years. The 3 figures' auras were similar. Their appearances were also somewhat similar. One of them smiled faintly and said, "You are very extraordinary. It would be a pity to die in the Chaos Pagoda like this. I killed the 9th scion of primal chaos. Don't you want to avenge him now?" Su Yan's battle blood was no longer calm. "Su Yan, we sincerely want to make a deal with you." Their words were very calm, as if they did not hear Su Yan's words. Another one said faintly, "We need something. Hand it over, and we will resolve the grudge between you and the Valley of Primal Chaos. At the same time, we will also give you a great opportunity. Of course, we heard that you have a grudge against Qiuming. The Valley of Primal Chaos can use our resources to destroy Qiuming. This is not a big problem. We can negotiate." Their expressions became more and more serious. They did not care, even if they had to kill Qiuming and risk the danger of starting a war with the Sealing Heaven region. "I say, doesn't the Valley of Primal Chaos have an outstanding genius?" Su Yin glanced at them from the corner of his eyes and shook his head. "I'm a person who can be persuaded by reason, but not cowed by force. If you send an outstanding goddess king to talk to me about life, I might relent. I think you are tired of living." The masters of primal chaos could no longer control themselves. They let out angry roars that shook the space and time. It was as if the giant Tao platform was shaking with them. The 3 were as powerful as gods and demons. Their roars were like rolling thunder, shaking heaven and earth. Wah! The group of geniuses who had just rushed and trembled. Their bodies were almost blown apart by the roars of the masters of primal chaos. They were terrified. Some were directly sent flying by the roars, while others rushed into the depths to avoid the flames of the masters of primal chaos. "Look, someone is flying out of the realm gate." The spectators were all moved. An expert from the Tao Temple waved his sleeve and swept in a few geniuses who had been roared out. These geniuses almost cried. They had just climbed in when they were roared out. The experts from the Tao Temple asked what had happened. They had just entered when they heard the roars of the experts. The group of experts did not know whether to laugh or cry. They were too unlucky. However, they were also apprehensive. It seemed that a great battle had already erupted. "Ruthless Su is most likely done for. I think he will be beaten out of there in a few hours. Perhaps he will even be turned into a corpse," someone said, causing the nearby old experts to sigh. Su Yin and the Valley of Primal Chaos had a grudge that was difficult to resolve. The masters of Primal Chaos would not forgive Su Yin. They would definitely fight as soon as they met. How could Su Yin resist the 3 of them if they joined forces? Within the trial space, the 3 masters were furious. Su Yin was testing their bottom line again and again. "I'll give you one more chance." The 3 scions of Primal Chaos were filled with murderous intent. Their eyes were filled with coldness as they roared. "In the trial grounds, all weapons, secret arts, and divine abilities will lose their power. Do you think you can compete with us? There's only one path in front of you. That is to cooperate with us. As for the second path, that is to die here. Su Yin, as long as you agree to our conditions and take out something, we can guarantee your safety and even bestow upon you a great stroke of good fortune. Can't you weigh the pros and cons?" The 3 masters angrily shouted. They had come with a mission that they had to complete. But the focus was on Su Yin. As long as he agreed to their conditions, there would be no problem. "Although I don't know what you want from me. I might have been interested in the past, but now I have no interest at all." Su Yin waved his hand at them. He laughed. "I'll tell you this clearly. Even if you want a pile of cow dung from my clan, I won't sell it to you." "Bastard, The masters of primal chaos were enraged to the extreme. Their hearts and lungs trembled. They had seen people who were stubborn, but they had never seen someone so unreasonable with their status. Even if they went to the sky bamboo lineage or the ancestral hall, as long as they didn't make any excessive demands, their clan would still agree. But Su Yin didn't even ask them what they wanted. Mother asterisk Kerr, a ruthless person is a ruthless person. Many cultivators who had rushed into the trial space were so impressed by Su Yin that they wanted to prostrate themselves before him. He wouldn't even sell them a pile of cow dung. This was too domineering. This person's bones were really tough. I'm going to break all the bones in your body and let you know what it means to be an overlord of the younger generation. The seventh master of primal chaos instantly swooped down. He released his powerful body, filling it with blazing heat. He was like a divine volcano that burned fiercely. He raised his fist and punched at Su Yin. Seventh brother, kill him. The eighth master of primal chaos roared. Teach this bumpkin a lesson. Let him know what it means to be an overlord. Boom! The seventh master of primal chaos fist was like a divine volcano, blazing and surging. It burned the void until it exploded, as if it could burn down the world. The expressions of many young heavenly deities who were watching from afar changed. They felt as if their bodies were about to evaporate. This fist was too fierce. They treated the seventh master of primal chaos and the other overlords they had encountered in the past like trash. In front of the seventh master of primal chaos, tyrannical methods. Dim without light. Little Nine has been slaughtered by me. Let me see just how much weight the seventh master of primal chaos has. Su Yan's eyes turned cold. His fist smashed out, surging with world-shocking power. Su Yan, hand over your life. The seventh master of primal chaos flew into a rage. His fist smashed out, colliding with Su Yan's fist. For a time, the entire area trembled. Two terrifying energies collided. It was a pure collision of the physical body, causing the void to collapse. The strength of the two could be said to be endless. Kill. The seventh master of primal chaos was like a fiend god. His body burned like a divine furnace, flashing with resplendent down marks. It was simply like 100,000 volcanoes merged into one, emitting a temperature that could burn mountains and boil seas. He wanted to extinguish the source of life in Su Yan's body. Su Yan, enjoy it well. My seventh brother has used all kinds of rare chaos fire materials to temper his body, exhausting countless heavenly materials and earthly treasures. With your physique, you dare to fight my seventh brother with pure physical strength? You really don't want to live. The eighth master of primal chaos laughed. Just a rare chaos fire material was already hard to come by. But the seventh master of primal chaos had used endless chaos fire materials to nourish his body and temper his body. He had subdued a total of 9 heavenly flames. Now, once the seventh master of primal chaos erupted, a large hole would be burned in the sky. It was enough to burn the world. Chapter 1123. The scene of a raging inferno engulfing the heavens. On the grand platform, a ball of fire burned brilliantly. The seventh son of chaos had boundless divine power. His body had already turned into a rare divine fire body. Once he released the fire, the cultivators of his generation began to dry up. Retreat. The cultivators were shocked and quickly retreated, not daring to get close to the battlefield. They were far away from the battlefield, but their mouths and tongues were still dry from the fire released by the seventh son of chaos. What kind of shocking fire was that? They were all heavenly gods, and none of them were weak. At the moment, these cultivators were shocked. The genius of the chaotic valley was too strong. He had just appeared, and he had already manifested such shocking energy. Suppress. The seventh son of primal chaos was full of boldness. 3 colored flames surged out of his body and erupted from his fist, outlining a huge 3-colored furnace. It enveloped Su Yin and was about to suppress him. Su Yin, I'll give you one more chance. Surrender to us, and you can keep your life. Do you think you can stop the 3 of us? Don't overestimate yourself. I alone am enough to suppress you. The seventh son of Chaos said coldly. He really didn't want to kill Su Yan. Su Yan was still very useful to them. He couldn't be killed so easily. Kneel down now and call me Grandpa 3 times. Maybe I'll consider cooperating with you. Su Yan's eyes were blazing. Exuberant essence and blood surged out of his sleeping body. The impact caused cracks to appear on the 3-colored furnace as it trembled. The entire furnace was about to disintegrate under his essence and blood. Seventh brother, don't talk to him. Just kill him. The 4th son of Chaos, who was the strongest among the 3 sons of Chaos, said coldly, we can still get the answers we want when we search his memories. I'll fulfill your wish if you want to die. 2 balls of fire were burning in the 7th son of Chaos' eyes. The tricolored furnace that was about to shatter was strengthened by the 2 balls of fire from his eyes. The furnace turned into a 5-colored furnace built with the energy of the 7th son of Chaos. It contained his Tao and laws. The temperature inside the 5-color furnace was so hot that it could easily burn a heavenly god to death. Do you think you can burn me with this little temperature? Give me a hot bath instead. Su Yan stepped on the platform, his body steaming with the light of blood essence. His strength was peerless. No matter how hot the furnace was, it couldn't threaten Su Yan at all. He sneered and said, how can the 7th son of Chaos be inferior to the 9 sons? I think your rankings have been reversed. Kill. The 7th son of Primal Chaos let out a furious roar. He went completely berserk and displayed his greatest combat strength. 9 heavenly flames gather into one. The spectating cultivators in the distance trembled. 9 layers of terrifying flames surged, and each type of fiery light was a world-shocking technique. However, the 9 layers of heavenly flames converged within the Primal Chaos' 7th child's body, and now they poured out in torrents. Boom! Heaven and earth were burned to the point of being distorted. A 9-colored furnace was burning, and raging flames devoured the heavens. It was enough to burn everything in the universe and refine the stars in the sky. At this moment, Su Yan's figure was submerged in the flames. It was as if he had been extinguished in the 9-colored furnace and burned into a pile of ashes. Good, 7th brother is his 7th brother after all. After bathing in 9 types of rare primal chaos flames for so long, he finally perfected the foundation of an unrivaled deity. Once the 9 layers of heavenly flames are released, who in the same generation can contend against him? The 8th son of primal chaos laughed. This was the supreme technique of the 7 sons. The 9-colored furnace burned and released 9-colored flames, burning the void until it collapsed. This area was completely turned into a big black hole. The people of the world couldn't find Su Yan's traces because the furnace was too bright and dazzling. Everything couldn't be seen clearly. Abnormal. 9 types of rare primal chaos flames to refine an unrivaled deity's body. The spectators were all trembling. Any type could forge a young overlord. But the 7th son of primal chaos used 9 types of rare primal chaos flames to forge an unrivaled body. It was difficult to imagine just how powerful it was. In their eyes, even Su Yan was being suppressed. It was as if his powerful life form had been completely devoured. What a strange Tao technique, absorbing the essence of 9 types of fire materials. Su Yan secretly said, even with his powerful body, he felt a stabbing pain. His boundless blood essence was also declining. Su Yan had to admit that the man's means were astonishing. He was able to threaten Su Yan's body, but Su Yan had nothing to fear. The aura of his physical body gradually changed. It was like a huge copper furnace, drawing fire to refine the body. 9 types of rare fire materials, difficult to find in the world. Su Yan pondered in his heart. His physical furnace was swallowing. As he inhaled and exhaled, he secretly operated the heaven-defying method of the 2nd level of the body nurturing technique. From this moment on, his physical body was covered in vigorous flames. The 9-layered flames burned deep into Su Yan's body. At this moment, Su Yin felt a heart-wrenching pain, but he was fearless. He endured the pain and sealed his physical body in an instant. Su Yin turned into a fire path, divine furnace. His powerful body's functions operated, refining the essence of all kinds of rare primal chaos flames and burying them in his body. This allowed Su Yan's body to vaguely receive a kind of nourishment. He was shocked and moved, as expected of Ingjie from the Valley of Primal Chaos. They were all rich people. Every single one of the 9 types of fire materials was excellent. If Su Yin obtained them, he could make up for the decline of his physical body. Su Yin recalled that decades ago, his physical body had once swallowed the origin of his sovereign physique to nourish his body. Now, the 9 types of primal chaos flames were also playing a crucial role. This made Su Yin particularly look forward to it. He hoped that he could make up for a part of his body's deficiencies through the 7th son of primal chaos. This way, his results in the Earth Palace would most likely improve. Perhaps he would also obtain greater opportunities. Devour. Su Yan's pupils suddenly opened up as he let out a low roar, and his body rippled with the terrifying and blurry glow of a domain. He was like a king that had awakened from a deep slumber, and he emitted a blurry God King domain that forcefully confined space. This is the 7th son of primal chaos was shocked. There seemed to be a sleeping sovereign in front of him that was about to awaken. Could it be that he has a prehistoric sovereign physique? The 7th son of primal chaos exclaimed in his heart. He has such a physique. I must kill him. I can't let him get close to the mysterious yellow root. Otherwise, he will rise in the future. The 7th son of primal chaos instantly activated his body. The 9 heavenly flames burned and were about to tear apart the entire domain. However, he found that Su Yan's domain was very abnormal. Layers of imprisonment strengthened the seal and sealed the area. Even the 9 heavenly flames could not break the domain in a short time. He even found that Su Yin was devouring the energy of the primal chaos flames leaking out of his body. What is he doing? The 7th son of primal chaos was shocked. Was he courting death? How dare he devour the 9 heavenly flames? The 9 heavenly flames were all trump cards. Any one of them could burn a heavenly god. However, Su Yin did not reject them and devour them all. He is strong. He is fighting with my 7th brother. The 4th son of primal chaos saw the clues and said coldly, however, the 9 heavenly flames are my 7th brother's origin substance. Now that my 7th brother is burning Su Yin with the 9 heavenly flames, I'm afraid that Su Yin won't be able to hold on for long. His domain will collapse. I underestimated him. He hasn't stepped into the Divine King, but he has already seen through most of the domain. Haha, so what? Now that Su Yin is burning himself with the 9 heavenly flames, he won't be able to live for long. He'll be burned to ashes. The 8th son of primal chaos sneered. And he dares to boast shamelessly in front of the 3 of us? How laughable. The 7th son of primal chaos also felt that Su Yin was courting death. He dared to let go of his body and let the 9 heavenly flames burn him to death. The 7th son of primal chaos's eyes flashed ferociously. The fire of origin in his body continued to collapse. Su Yan's body was burning. Even his strong body began to be scorched. His internal organs were burning. The fire inside his body was endless. The 7th son of primal chaos is too strong. Su Xianren is being suppressed. Su Xianren won't be able to survive if this goes on. He'll be burned alive. Why doesn't Su Xianren retreat? Don't you see? The 2 experts are fighting with their domains. It's like a battle of foundations. It will be difficult to separate them in a short time. If Su Yin can't withstand the 7th son of primal chaos's flames, he will be defeated. Defeat is only a matter of time. Su Yin doesn't have any room to fight back now. Many spectators who didn't know the truth were discussing. A group of cultivators smiled bitterly. We are struggling to withstand the pressure of the platform. But you guys are fine. That's the difference between us. Burning body, but Su Yin looked solemn. He was like an ancient Buddha bathing in flames. He endured intense pain and suffering during the process. He kept absorbing the energy of the 9 heavenly fires, stimulating his constitution and improving it quietly. Although the process was slow, Suyin enjoyed it very much. If he could continue for a long time, when his body adapted to the power of the 9 heavenly fires, the flames would no longer be a threat to him. Time flew. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. What left everyone speechless was that Suyin was still alive, but his body was scorched black. He had been roasted. On the other hand, the 7th son of primal chaos was surging with raging flames and powerful divine might. The essence of the flames gushing out of his body incessantly burned Suyin. 7th brother, don't burn him to death. The 8th son of primal chaos frowned. He reminded, you must protect his primordial spirit. We still need to explore his primordial spirit's memories. Suyin is the key. He can't die yet. Hearing this, the 7th son of primal chaos almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He looked majestic, but he was in an awkward position because the divine power in his body was almost exhausted. He allowed him to burn Suyin for an entire day. But Suyin's foundation was boundless and unfathomable. No matter how many flames there were, he would not reject them. Suyin's physical body appeared to be withered, but he was still alive. The 7th son of primal chaos didn't even know what state Suyin was in. This was the most terrifying part. Even if Suyin was about to reach his limit, based on his current calmness, this person's endurance was truly terrifying. On the second day, the pressure in the trial space suddenly soared by a large margin. The gods' bodies trembled. They felt dizzy and fell to the ground. Some cultivators who could not take it were directly sent out of the trial space. What? Su Xianren is about to be burned to death by the 7th son of primal chaos. Chapter 1124. Each of the 9 scions of primal chaos has unparalleled battle prowess. The 9th scion that Su Yin killed was the weakest. Someone said gravely, the 7 scions are now fighting with Su Xianren. However, the 7 scions have fused with 9 types of rare fire materials and possess an unparalleled foundation. A cultivator who was chased out of the realm gate, where Su Yin and the others were fighting, spoke in a shocked tone. He said, that's the essence of 9 types of rare fire materials. The 7 scions are too strong. Even someone as strong as Su Xianren was cruelly suppressed. Everyone present was aghast. They never thought that Su Yin would be unable to hold on after just one day. Moreover, if the Primal Chaos 3 joined forces, they would definitely be able to suppress Su Yin in a short time. The other 2 have yet to make a move. Su Yin sighed. Many people sighed. The Primal Chaos Valley was targeting Su Yin. This was a disaster. No matter what trial space Su Yin chose, the Primal Chaos 3 would pursue him. What a pity. With Su Xianren's battle prowess, he will definitely become a peerless king in the future. It's a pity that he provoked the Primal Chaos 9. Once they join forces, who can stop them? I think it won't be long before Su Yin either escapes from the trial space or is suppressed by the Primal Chaos 3. However, once he escapes from the trial space, the fortune of the Primal Chaos Pagoda will not be fated with Su Yin. Some experts from Pinnacle Orthodoxies were regretful. In this era, the Primal Chaos Pagoda was the hope of the world's prodigies. This was especially true for Su Yin. If he could not obtain the prehistoric inheritance, he was destined to have no chance of contending for hegemony in the future. Since ancient times, no one has been invincible forever. Su Yin has dominated the Primal Chaos ruins for so long. The path of fortune will not always favor him. If Su Yin had not swallowed the reincarnation fruit in the reincarnation universe, he would not have killed Zhu Tian. The Primal Chaos 9 have great fortune and immeasurable resources. Su Xianren is really pitiful for encountering them. Around the Primal Chaos Pagoda were many important figures from various races. Not only did the Tao Temple recruit disciples, but they also chose outstanding prodigies to rope in and befriend, hoping that they would join their sect. Now that they knew that Su Yin was in the trial space, many felt that it was not worth it. After all, it was difficult to kill Su Yin. However, if the primal chaos three scions joined forces, the situation will be different. We're still alive. It's better than dying in the trial space. That's right. In the trial space we are in, many people have died. Some powerhouses are chasing away their opponents, wanting to monopolize the inheritance within the trial space. Although they don't know what the inheritance is, even an idiot would know that the fewer people there are, the better. In just the first day, hundreds of thousands of living beings have been eliminated. This elimination rate was simply too frightening. This didn't even include the dead cultivators. After all, they were still alive. The prion of... Can's that? Many people asked this question. An old powerhouse from the Tao Temple stepped forward and explained, that's not it. The pressure increases every month. Of course, the stronger the pressure, the better. This is because the trial space's inheritance will begin to appear. Everyone was enlightened. However, wanting to perceive the Tao laws contained within the trial space was truly difficult. To be able to endure for half a year was already incredible. There were also many people who were concerned. They carefully asked Su Yin about the specific process of the trial space cultivators. Some people believed that Su Yin wouldn't be unable to suppress the primal chaos 7 science. Until the final moment, no one knew what would happen. Unfortunately, these cultivators that were driven out didn't see what happened next. The next day, the pressure within the trial space doubled. This came from the terrifying pressure released by the Tao platform. It was as if it had been revived from the dead. A terrifying source of strength filled the air, suppressing everyone present. Su Yin felt something. He carefully sensed the entire Tao platform. It was as if the Tao platform had a life of its own. Inch by inch, it released a terrifying aura that spread throughout the entire trial space, as if it could tear apart the heavens. This was an extremely terrifying energy. Even Su Yin, who was enduring the raging flames tempering his body, was able to sense the grandeur of this pressure. After all, the affected space was far too vast. There was no gap to pass through. What a terrifying Tao law. This primal chaos pagoda's reputation is well-deserved. This is only the first trial. Su Yin muttered in his heart. His charred body continued to absorb the nourishment of the 9 layers fire material, nourishing the flaws of his physique. Vaguely, there were 9 layers fire light burning in Su Yan's body, cleansing the depths of his body. It was blazing brilliantly. A smile appeared on Su Yan's face. Although his gains were not particularly great, it was already very impressive for his realm to be able to increase a little. Puff! The 7th son of Chaos spat out a mouthful of blood. He was originally a crossbow, but after being unable to break through Su Yan's domain suppression for so long, his source had been greatly damaged. Now, beneath the pressure of the Tao platform, he spat out a mouthful of blood and staggered backwards. 7th brother, what's wrong? The 8th son of Chaos's face changed. This level of pressure couldn't possibly injure him. I can't hold on much longer. Hurry and join forces to kill him. The 7th son of Chaos roared. He no longer cared about face. His words stunned everyone around him. They thought that Su Yin wouldn't last much longer, that he would be burned to death sooner or later. But why was it that the 7th son of Chaos couldn't hold on any longer? What was going on? You can't hold on any longer. The charred Su Yin stared at him, as if he hadn't had enough. His charred body began to emit a divine radiance. His swallowing power rose by a great deal. The body-nourishing art seized the good fortune of the heavens and earth. It swallowed the fiery light that leaked out from the 7th son of Chaos body, piercing through Su Yan's flesh. It hurts, Su Yin grimaced. The pain of being burned by the fire was indeed excruciating, but his eyes were full of smiles. He felt that his body was transforming, and his tattered body was emitting a brilliant light. Stop him. The 7th son of Chaos sensed the terrifying aura of life that had awakened in Su Yan's body. He roared in a humiliating tone, "He's using the fire in my body to refine his body." What did you say? He's using your fire to refine his body? Are you kidding me? The 2 sons of Chaos faces changed drastically. Who could withstand the pain of 9 layers of fire refining their body? But Su Yin was using his source to refine his body. This almost scared the onlookers out of their wits. This was too crazy. Su Yan's aura began to leak out uncontrollably. His essence and blood evaporated from his tattered body, and then soon they were rolling and vast. The 7th son of Chaos, was furious. Su Yin wasn't injured at all, and had even become stronger. This made him so ashamed that he wanted to find a hole to hide in. How could this be? How could Su Yin steal the essence of his fire? Even though he was a forbidden descendant, he couldn't imagine what kind of secret technique Su Yin had mastered. Su Yan's tattered body healed on its own. Some of his old skin was even shaken off, revealing a strong and powerful body that was exuding vitality. It was as exuberant as a dragon, oppressing the surrounding space. What about me? You're already at your limit, and you dare to kill me? What's the use of keeping you alive? Su Yin shouted coldly. The essence and blood in his body surged, and his chest rumbled like a tsunami. The 9 heavenly fire domains collapsed in an instant. The vast essence and blood in his body radiated and bombarded the 7th son of Chaos body. The shattered void was filled with blood. The phenomenon was too terrifying, and the energy fluctuations went berserk. Su Yin was like a ferocious dragon in human form that had come back to life. The energy blasted forward, and the 7th son of Chaos body collapsed. It was like an empty shell that could collapse at any time. The 7th son of Chaos coughed up a mouthful of blood. He was sent flying, and his flesh was badly mangled. He let out a shrill cry. His foundation had been greatly damaged. Seventh brother. The 2 sons of Chaos faces changed drastically. They swooped forward in an instant, and their bodies rippled with terrifying light. Their pure physical energy erupted, and the energy fluctuations were terrifying. They've bombarded forward with peerless postures and blocked the energy source that Su Yin was erupting. Kill him. The 2 sons of Chaos were furious. They joined forces to attack Su Yin, unleashing the power of a heavenly god's body. Boom! Su Yan's aura collided with their energy fluctuations. One had to admit that they were very powerful. They were as cold as chaos gods and devils. The moment the 3 energies collided, Su Yan's energy body collapsed. Heavens! The onlookers cried out in alarm. The 2 sons of Chaos joined forces, and their combat strength was ferocious. They suppressed Su Yin in a single exchange. When the 2 berserk energies covered the sky and covered the earth as they blasted towards Su Yin, the surrounding experts were shocked to the point of insanity. Su Xianren had erupted, and his body was like a comet streaking across the sky. His majestic appearance was overbearing, and his hair flew wildly. Roar! Su Yan's aura surged, and his body burned like a divine furnace. The top of his head rippled with a vast source of life, outlining a giant dragon in the blue dome of heaven. It was bathed in fiery light, and it overlooked the desolate lands. How can his body be so strong? The experts lost their composure. The essence blood that erupted from Su Yan's body was boundless and exuberant. It pierced through the blue dome of heaven and suppressed the 2 sons of Chaos in an instant. Kill! Su Yan's eruption was too sudden. It completely exceeded the 2 sons of Chaos expectations. Moreover, his body crossed the horizon and rushed forward with a rumble. His speed was fast to the extreme. This is bad. The 2 sons of Chaos were enraged. They used their supernatural powers to rapidly split apart Su Yan's energy that was suppressing them. They wanted to rush over and intercept Su Yin, but it was already too late. Su Yan's movements were too fast. He had already closed in on the 7th son of Chaos. Under the startled gazes of the entire audience, Su Yin rushed towards the 7th son of Chaos. In a single exchange, his aura enveloped the entire audience. Energy fluctuations surged from his body, blotting out the skies and suppressing everything. The void exploded. In the blurry battlefield of energy, there were miserable screams. This was accompanied by the blossoming of blood. Some people saw the seventh son of chaos being sent flying by Su Yan's fist. His chest was smashed in, and half of his body was on the verge of collapsing. Old Seven, hurry and run. The two sons of chaos roared and rushed over. They revolved their strength to suppress Su Yan. Damn it, I'll be back. The seventh son of chaos roared. He fled from the trial space with fear and humiliation. He was really worried that Su Yan would go berserk and force him to kill him again. In truth, Su Yan was a little surprised. The seventh son of Chaos's body was really sturdy. He was well aware of his own strength, but the seventh son of Chaos was still alive after receiving a direct hit from him. His body didn't even suffer much damage. The seventh son of Chaos fled just like that. The people in the outside world had strange expressions. Some of them had gloomy expressions. They didn't expect Su Yan to escape. They all saw a mangled figure escape from the trial space where Su Yan was. Therefore, they thought the seventh son of Chaos was Su Yan. Su Yan, even that can't kill you. You're really lucky. But I really want to see how tough your life is. On the spot, a ruthless person brought out a great killing weapon. His face was ferocious as he wanted to kill the mangled Su Yan. Chapter 1125. Su Yan is still alive. He managed to kill his way out. He managed to kill his way out of the joint attack of the three sons. Unbelievable. Su Xianren is still alive. Everyone was in an uproar as they saw a blood-stained figure escape from the trial space. His flesh and blood were so badly mangled that it was difficult to distinguish his appearance. This was simply too miserable. He must have been brutally suppressed by the three sons. Bastard, bastard. The seventh son of Chaos was enraged. These people actually thought he was Su Yan. Were they blind? At the same time, he felt extremely humiliated. Even with the three sons of Chaos joining forces, he was actually forced to escape from the trial space. This caused the seventh son of Chaos to roar in his heart. He wished he could find a hole to crawl into and hide in. He didn't even want to admit his identity. Once he did so, the prestige of the Valley of Chaos would suffer another blow. His ninth brother had already been killed by Su Yan. Now, the three sons had joined forces and rushed into the trial space where Su Yan was. If the world were to find out that he had been beaten into a sorry state, it was unknown how the world would slander him. The seventh son of Chaos didn't utter a word as he crossed the void. He wanted to leave this region and find a place to recuperate before thinking of a way to re-enter the Chaos Pagoda. The heavily wounded Su Yan wants to leave? Some people were surprised. He was absolutely safe in the Chaos Pagoda. Once he left the range of the Chaos Pagoda, there was no guarantee that some ruthless people would forcefully attack him and kill Su Yan. Some people wanted to warn him, but they opened their mouths. They swallowed their words, not wanting to provoke trouble. Just as the seventh son of Chaos left the range of the Chaos Pagoda, the great figures of the various races were alarmed. They saw the distant space-time tremble, and the vast territories were suppressed to the point of wailing. Chi! A dazzling sword core shined and slashed out. A large crack appeared in space-time as it slashed towards the seventh son of Chaos head. Who is it? The seventh son of Chaos was frightened. The one who attacked was extremely strong and was definitely a half-step supreme expert. But a half-step supreme expert had broken the rules and even dared to attack Ingjia from the Valley of Chaos. Had he eaten the guts of an immortal? The furious seventh son of Chaos roared as his suppressed realm was unsealed. His broken body released the peak of the Divine King's strength. Although he was heavily wounded, he still had combat strength. He immediately took out a divine furnace and blocked the sword core. However, the ruthless person who attacked in the dark was a half-step almighty after all. The snow-bright sword embryo was blazing as it slashed down fiercely, causing the divine furnace that was surrounded by 9 colored flames to tremble. The powerful force crushed the palm of the seventh son of primal chaos. The seventh master of primal chaos roared and unleashed his greatest power to activate the furnace. It had to be said that the divine flame furnace was extremely powerful. It was forged from 9 types of rare fire materials and was the rough embryo of a supreme treasure. It exerted all of its strength and erupted with power to forcibly block the sect-killing sword. The half-step grand cultivator who was secretly attacking shouted coldly. His killing sword was surrounded by the light of order, and he slashed at the divine furnace again and again. The 7th son of chaos, who was controlling the divine furnace with all his strength, trembled and was forced to retreat. However, his performance was already shocking enough. A half-step mighty figure must have used all his strength to attack him secretly. However, he was actually able to resist the attack of a half-step mighty figure for a short period of time. He was indeed worthy of being called Ruthless Su. Su Yin is really strong. The 7th son of chaos was so angry that he almost exploded. He roared to the sky as the furnace rumbled and turned. 9 colored flames poured out of the furnace and rushed towards the half-step supreme expert. But just as he finished doing all this, divine light shone brightly in another universe. Terrifying ripples surged as another half-step supreme expert stood out and shouted, "Su Yin, you killed the young overlord of my race. Give me your life." The experts of the Ma family had arrived. Ma Iliang's death was hard for the Ma family to accept. The Grand Elder of the Ma family could not help but attack. He took out his killing weapon and attacked the 7th son of chaos. The northern demon died so tragically. "Su Yin, I'll crush you." Another demon expert attacked. He raised his huge beast claw and tore the universe apart. He swept it towards the 7th son of chaos waist and wanted to tear him in half. "Su Yin, you bastard. How dare you provoke the sealed heaven region? My race's Chiu Ming is about to become a supreme expert. You're no longer on the same level as him. I'll send you on your way now." Another expert with a terrifying aura stood out. He attacked with lightning speed and wanted to kill the 7th son of chaos. In a short period of time, at least 10 ruthless people appeared and attacked forcefully, wanting to kill Su Yin. F***CK. The 7th son of chaos was so scared that he almost peed his pants. More than a dozen experts attacked in anger. "Damn it, I'm not Su Yin at all. I'm the 7th son of chaos. I'm not Su Yin." In the end, he could not take it anymore and roared. He was too miserable. His mouth and nose were bleeding, and his flesh was lacerated. He was about to be sacrificed alive by these experts. "Laughable bug. Kneel and accept your punishment if you're afraid." The experts sneered and attacked. They sealed the sky and the earth and did not give Su Yin any time to breathe. They used all kinds of methods to destroy Su Yin. The onlooker's side, Su Xianren was very valuable because he had already thrown out more than a dozen treasures. Although they were all destroyed, he continued to throw out more treasures to resist the disaster. Moreover, he could still stabilize the situation in the face of such a situation. Some people felt that Su Xianren most likely had no more trump cards. That was why he did not admit that he was Su Yin. This also led to more than a dozen experts joining in. This made the 7th son of chaos want to cry. "Damn it, Su Yin, how many enemies do you have? They're all jumping out to settle accounts with you, but they're targeting me. I'm the 7th son of chaos." In the end, he could not take it anymore and roared, "I'm the 7th son of chaos. Are you all blind? Are you all blind?" He had no choice but to release his bloodline. His mangled body steamed with silver divine light and released the chaos space-time profundity. He roared, "You joined forces to kill me. Do you all want to wipe out your race? Scram, scram." The continuous, uncontrollable roars caused the surrounding cultivators to be completely dumbfounded. Some of the old sect masters were petrified. They pointed at the 7th son of chaos. They did not know how to evaluate this incident. "This is a misunderstanding. Take care, fellow cultivator." More than half of the people surrounding Su Yin ran away as fast as they could. They were like a pack of old rabbits. They were also cursing in their hearts. "Why didn't you say that you're the 7th son of chaos earlier? You should have admitted it when you came out just now." Many people were confused. Didn't they say that Su Yin was miserable? Then he was burned by the seventh son's 9 flames? But what happened now? How did the seventh son of Chaos get beaten out? He was even surrounded and almost sacrificed. If he really died in such a situation, it would be the biggest joke in the world. So people figured it out. This was the tragic fate of those who wanted to save face. The Chaos Valley is a little miserable. The experts were speechless and did not know what to say. They were also curious. What happened in the trial space? There was already a fierce battle. Su Yin was fighting alone against the 2 sons of Chaos. This was indeed a tough battle for him. The 2 sons also attacked Su Yin together with flames of fury. Rumble! Within the trial space where the great battle raged, the giant Dao platform began to rumble. 3 powerhouses were fighting, a pure battle of the fleshly body. It was brilliant beyond compare. You're really sturdy. Su Yin circulated his strongest physical strength to fight with them. He had to admit that these 2 children of primal chaos were very strong. Their bodies were indestructible, as if they were made of rare primal chaos treasures. When they fought, sparks flew everywhere. At the same time, they were shocked by Su Yan's body. It was similarly tyrannical and peerless. Their bodies had been nourished by rare and precious elixirs for countless years, and they could even punch through treasures. But when their fists smashed into Su Yan's body, it was extremely difficult to shake his foundation. This proved that Su Yan's body was shocking and his foundation was unfathomably deep. But the 2 sons of Chaos joined forces against Su Yin and were unable to take him down for a long time. This was a humiliation to them. Damn it. If it weren't for the fact that we can't use divine abilities or secret arts here, I would be able to kill you all by myself. I think his physique is very strong. It's a prehistoric supreme physique with an unfathomable foundation that can't be opened. If he bathes in the profound yellow root, then things will become troublesome. After all, the Chaos Pagoda is closer to them and not us. Send someone out and have 7th brother come in as soon as possible. The 3 of us can join forces and slaughter him as soon as possible. If we continue fighting, the trial space might open the door to inheritance ahead of time because of Su Yan's tyrannical strength. The 4 scions of primal chaos had gloomy faces. After all, in this space, they could only fight with their physical bodies. However, Su Yan's physical body was not inferior to theirs. It would be rather difficult for them to kill Su Yin head-on. At the same time, they had a deep understanding of the trial space. Even if they couldn't comprehend this level of inheritance, if their performance was outstanding and their background was extraordinary, the Chaos Pagoda would still be helpful to the trial taker. With their status as the 9 sons of Chaos, it was far too easy to make a cultivator give up on the inheritance. They just needed to casually take out some treasures. I'm afraid you won't have the chance to wait for the 7 sons to come in. Su Yan's eyes bloomed with an ominous light. He had to deal with them as soon as possible. Otherwise, if the 7 sons really came in, it would be a bitter battle. You shameless, boastful thing. I'll stand here and let you kill me. Do you think you can kill me? For countless years, I have tempered my mortal body with the endless source of chaos, profound iron. Even a supreme treasure cannot destroy my body. The 4th son of Chaos coldly sneered. His mighty mortal body emitted an extremely heavy, oppressive feeling. It was as if he were cast from chaos, profound iron. His mortal body invincible. Su Yan's eyes flashed with a cold light. These 2 sons of Chaos truly had ridiculously strong bodies. Wanting to destroy them would be extremely difficult. 4th brother, don't waste words with a dead man. Once we catch him, break all his bones first. I want to see just how hard you, Su Yin, are. The 8th son of Chaos cruelly smiled. The 2 sons of Chaos joining forces was enough to trap Su Yin. Once the 7 sons came in, the 3 of them would join forces and crush Su Yin. However, some people were flabbergasted. The 7 sons had already left, so how could they still enter? Unless the 7 sons could invite a powerhouse from the Dao Temple to break the rules and send the 7th son of Chaos in. But would the Dao Temple break the rules for them? After all, this concerned Su Xianren. Once news of this leaked out, the Tao Temple's reputation would be severely damaged. Su Yan withstood the attacks of the two sons of chaos. At the same time, he carefully sensed the fluctuations of the Tao platform's inheritance. He could capture its grandeur and vastness. If he could peek into it and learn the Tao and laws within, then Su Yan's mortal body's combat strength would skyrocket. At that time, suppressing the two sons of chaos wouldn't be difficult. Chapter 11:26. No one would have thought that this battle would continue for an entire day and night, and it was not over yet. In the trial space, blood stained the void. The aura of gods and devils surged, and the killing intent was vast and fierce. Their battle could be said to be abnormal. They could easily suppress the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains and emit the power of gods. It surged and overflowed, shocking the onlookers. They did not dare to get too close. Even if they were suppressed to the first heaven of the heavenly god realm, they were still powerful enough. Roar! The two sons of primal chaos were truly enraged. After an entire day and night of fighting, it was extremely difficult for them to suppress Su Yan. The two of them roared angrily. Their indestructible bodies flowed with terrifying waves, and they blasted towards Su Yan. In the process, heaven and earth trembled. The two of them crossed the void. Their pure physical strength was released, and they were extremely domineering as they smashed towards Su Yan. Kill! Su Yan let out a loud roar. His long hair danced wildly, and he was like a king who could swallow the universe. His essence, chi, and spirit pierced through the heavens. Rip! His flesh shell was like a large halberd that split the sky. It contained a peerless sharpness, and it slashed down fiercely. It could be called a human-shaped slash, and it instantly crashed into the body of the eighth son of primal chaos. The eighth son's body trembled violently, and a bloody scar appeared on his chest. He had suffered a terrifying blow. Even if his body was as tough as divine iron, he was still hit by Su Yan until he spat out blood. Boom! However, the fourth son of primal chaos fist also smashed heavily on Su Yan's chest. It hammered Su Yan's chest so hard that it shook the heavens. Blood rolled out of his throat, and his body shook continuously. Su Yan let out a long roar. His body blazed, and he was filled with a domineering, deterrent force. Boom! He suddenly raised his hand and slapped the fourth son of primal chaos. The slap landed heavily on his shoulder, and his shoulder almost collapsed. The movement of his arm was somewhat sluggish. However, CZ was extremely ferocious. The fist that was bombarding Su Yan's chest was once again raised and smashed towards his chest. He did not believe that he could not shatter Su Yan's body. At the same time, the eighth son of primal chaos closed in as well. Su Yan's fleshly body blazed as they joined forces. It was as if he had transformed into a cauldron that seethed with vast amounts of blood essence and was suffused with a might that could shake the world. Su Yan's physical body is too terrifying. Even after suffering two heavy blows in a row, he is still able to stand firm. His foundation must be extremely strong. The second son is also very strong. The eighth son is slightly weaker, but the fourth son is abnormal. Do you see? It is extremely difficult for Su Yan's physical body to injure him. But if this continues, they will all suffer serious injuries. This is a bitter battle against Su Xianren. I feel that Su Xianren is becoming more and more familiar with his battle form. His control over his physical body is too astonishing. He is like a murderous weapon in human form. Otherwise, it would have been extremely difficult for him to last an entire day and night. There were tens of thousands of creatures in this trial space. Most of them were sitting cross-legged in the distance, bitterly cultivating, but there were many who were here to watch the battle. This was a rare battle. Su Yan and the two sons were locked in battle. I want to see just how much blood you can shed. The two sons of primal chaos also knew that it would be extremely difficult to defeat Su Yan in a short period of time, so they decided to slowly wear him down. They were well aware that killing him by force was extremely difficult. Even if the seven sons could not enter, They were still confident that they could slaughter Su Yan. However, it would take a long time. Still, they all felt that Su Yan's potential was too great. They had to kill this enemy, otherwise he would definitely be a great threat in the future. You two pieces of trash, you can't even defeat me together. If I were you, I would have found a piece of tofu and killed myself. What son of taboo? You're worse than dog farts. Su Yan stepped on the universe, his aura surging. His eyes were filled with callousness and iron-bloodedness. He felt that only by staking his life against them here and accumulating more battle experience would he be able to live a happier life in the Hell Palace Hall in the future. Bastard, kill me. When you're defeated, I'll tear apart all the bones in your body and crush every drop of blood essence. I want to see just how tough you are. The two sons of primal chaos were enraged. Their eyes were red with fury as they charged over. Their auras were wild and tyrannical, but Su Yan, who was facing them head-on, was even more tyrannical. He fought purely with his physical body. Every punch drew blood, every strike fatal. Kill! Su Yan shouted loudly. His moves were wide open as he moved forward to suppress them. At the same time, Su Yan was constantly comprehending the profundities and grandeur of the Tao platform. Back then, Su Yan's journey to God Burial Mountain had caused his body to undergo cruel training. Now that he was comprehending the Tao platform's inheritance, this was a great inspiration to Su Yan. Vaguely, Su Yan's pores began to glow. His back rose and fell like a dragon, and his flesh seemed to seethe with boundless blood essence. There was a kind of unity, a kind of boldness that could destroy the entire battlefield. But it was still not enough. Su Yan felt that he was still a little lacking. If he could fully comprehend it, Su Yan was sure that his physical strength would skyrocket. He compared himself to the Tao platform and wanted to transform it into a magnificent Tao platform. Thump, thump, thump. Su Yan's feet constantly stepped on the Tao platform. Every time he came into direct contact with the Tao platform, it stimulated Su Yan's body until it blazed. The problem lies with the Tao platform. Su Yan caught it. His feet were like the source of his body, constantly coming into contact with the Tao platform. It was as if he was touching a majestic world, and he felt extremely small. Time flew by slowly. Another day and night passed. The huge Tao platform was stained with blood. Bitter, killing intent surged. The three experts fought from the east to the west, throwing the entire Tao platform into chaos. Everyone found it difficult to cultivate in seclusion, but when they paid attention to the battle, their expressions changed. The three experts were like three bloodied men, bathed in blood. The two sons of chaos teamed up to kill Su Yan. Although Su Yan had more injuries on his body, he became fiercer as he fought. Su Xianren is too terrifying. The two sons of chaos fought with Su Xianren for 2 days and 2 nights, but they couldn't take him down. These people were trembling, their hands and feet cold. Su Yan was bearing a monstrous killing intent. Although he was faintly declining, his aura was too fierce. The killing intent evolved from the Qiongqi's power and the two sons of chaos. Su Yan's aura was also ever-changing. Sometimes it would transform into a giant hammer that could smash the world. Sometimes it would transform into a heaven-splitting halberd. Sometimes it would become a giant cauldron that could suppress the world. And sometimes it would become a grand golden bell that could shake all things. Have you noticed? It's extremely difficult for the two to injure Su Xianren. Could it be that the tables are turning? Su Xianren has used his previous battle form to the extreme. He's become more mature and comfortable. If this continues, I think the two will most likely be defeated. It's hard to say. Su Yan's losses are too great. It's hard to say. Some of the spectators were numb. They had already fought for 2 days and 2 nights. Now, they had entered a period of equilibrium. If they competed with their own foundations, it wouldn't take more than 2 or 3 days. Life and death would definitely be decided. Outside the Chaos Pagoda, the important figures of various races were discussing. Someone said, "I wonder who will be the first to open the second trial space this time." In the past, it was always the descendant of a Tao Temple powerhouse. I wonder if there will be an exception this time. It's still early. The fastest record is 3 months, and only 3 days have passed. Let's wait for another 2 months. I think Song Tian has a high chance. After all, he has fused with the rare immortal treasure of the heavenly Tao Stone. This is a supreme treasure for comprehending the Tao. Many important figures had gathered in this area. Even in the distance, there were supreme beings that were faintly discernible in the void. They were paying attention to the evolution of the Chaos Pagoda. Even now, there were some late arriving cultivators that had entered the Chaos Pagoda's trial space. On this day, an icy killing intent swept over, attracting the attention of some important figures. They saw that the seventh son of Chaos had suddenly arrived. He had already recovered from his injuries, and his foundation had been restored. He stood in his peak condition, and his eyes were filled with hatred as he stared at the trial space where Su Yin was. He had suffered all sorts of humiliation. He had even pretended to be Su Yin and was nearly torn to pieces. If this were in the past, the seventh son of Chaos would definitely seek them out to settle the score. But he truly didn't have the face to mention this matter. Now that he had made a comeback, this left some of the spectators bewildered. Did he still want to enter? Everyone knew that one could only enter the Chaos Pagoda once. It was almost impossible to have a second chance. Simeon, the seventh son of Chaos's eyes flashed with a cold light. Previously, the other two sons of Chaos had sent him a message, asking him to enter as soon as possible. Su Yin was very difficult to kill, and the three of them had to work together to defeat him. They had all underestimated Su Yin. None of them could kill the other. If they wanted to get rid of Su Yin, they had to be strong enough. If Su Yin really couldn't fight, he could totally retreat. This was something that the three sons of Chaos didn't want to see. Could it be the people nearby were shocked? Some of them had ugly expressions. If they wanted to break the rules and enter, they had to convince the experts in the Tao Church. Suddenly, a figure crossed over from the great Tao city in the distant world. The power that surged out from him caused this vast region to fall silent. The old antique guarding the Tao Church had left the city and appeared here directly. Some people instantly thought of something. Su Yin had killed the heaven-suppressing battle god, but the heaven-suppressing battle god's uncle was the old antique guarding the great Tao city. Could it be that he wanted to help the three sons of Chaos kill Su Yin? The moment the old antique's single hand reached out, the experts gathered here were shocked. Someone immediately stood out and said in a low voice, "Elder Shishio, this is against the rules." The old antique's aura turned cold. He was the Tao Church's supreme elder, Shishio. "Are you talking to me about the rules?" The seventh son of Chaos said in a cold voice, "Do you want the experts of the Chaos Valley to talk to your Tao Church about the rules? How dare you?" The elders of the Tao Church were furious. Their Tao Church wasn't afraid of the Chaos Valley and the seventh son of Chaos. The experts of the Tao Church were furious. Someone shouted, "Elder Shishio, don't make a mistake. Bastard, I have my own reasons. It's not up to you juniors to tell me what to do." Shishio's withered hand suddenly stretched forward. Under the shocked gazes of everyone, a pagoda floated out of his palm, flowing with the light of the great Tao. Vaguely, it caused the Chaos Pagoda to gently release its aura. "Shishio, you've gone too far." The elders of the Tao Church were furious. If he did this, the Tao Church's reputation would be damaged. He was breaking the rules. However, the old antique didn't care about them at all. The pagoda he controlled was the Great Tao Pagoda of the Tao Church, a rare treasure that originated from the Chaos Pagoda. At the same time, he could control a part of the power of the chaos. The energy of the Great Tao Pagoda enveloped the seventh son of Chaos. At this moment, the seventh son of Chaos was no longer restrained. He charged directly into the trial space where Su Yin was. "Su Yin, I'll make you die a horrible death." At the same time, a sinister laugh exploded, causing the experts gathered here to be speechless. Once the seventh son of Chaos charged in, Su Yin wouldn't be able to withstand the joint forces of the three sons. "Shishio, you asked for it. Even if you're a powerful figure, you don't have the final say in the Tao Church." The elders of the Tao Church were furious. Someone immediately rushed out and returned to the Tao Church to ask the vice dean to punish Shishio and restore the Tao Church's reputation. Shishio's face was gloomy. He naturally knew the consequences, but with the Chaos Valley protecting him, the vice deans didn't dare to make things difficult for him. This is bad. The seventh son underestimated Su Yin and tried to burn him with the 9 flames. In the end, he suffered a great loss at Su Yan's hands. Now that the 3 sons have joined forces, how can Su Xianren resist the 3 young overlords? Chapter 11:27. The Taoist temple has gone too far this time. The heaven-suppressing battle god's bloodline has an irreconcilable grudge with Su Yin. The old antique in the Great Path City is helping the 7th son of Chaos to kill Su Yin. Doesn't he know how serious the consequences are? I'm guessing that the Valley of Chaos paid a huge price to invite Shishio, an almighty expert. Otherwise, they wouldn't have dared to break the rules in front of everyone. Once Shishio dies, the Dao Hall won't let Shishio off so easily, let alone the buried region. I really hope a miracle happens, a miracle. The 3 sons of Chaos are working together. They're the real miracle. Su Yin can't stop them at all. The experts of various races around the Chaos Tower were discussing. Some of them looked at Shishio with unfriendly eyes. Breaking the rules like this was too despicable. They were extremely disgusted and disappointed with the Taoist temple. The 7th son of Chaos has already entered. Even if the Taoist temple sends experts over, it won't help. Someone let out a long sigh as they watched the 7 sons step into the training space that Su Yin and the others were in. The entire training space was filled with a bloody light as a bitter killing intent surged. Time seemed to have returned to the ancient times, to the time when the gods fought for supremacy. 3 days and 3 nights of bloodshed. This continued until the 4th day. The 3 were bloodshot. With a roar, they reversed their combat power and unleashed their strongest physical strength to attack their opponents. The 2 sons of Chaos worked together, their combat power overwhelming. They smashed Su Yin, who had transformed into a giant cauldron, back to his normal state. The latter's eyes were wide open. They were iron-blooded and domineering. He was bathed in blood and went berserk. With a loud roar, the vast Taoist platform seemed to shake. Kill! Su Yin roared. He clenched his fist and smashed it forward. This was the resurrection of a bloodstained god of war. With just a raise of his hand, the heavens would collapse and the earth would rend. Su Yan's strength was peerless, and his posture was also extremely majestic. There was a vague sense of grandeur as he emitted an incomparable divine might. How terrifying! The battle had already reached this point, and both of them had used up a lot of their resources. However, Su Xianren was still as tyrannical as ever. He had temporarily recovered to his strongest state, and he crushed all the spectators in all directions, causing them to tremble with fear. They were all about to be sent flying. Ah! The 4th scion of Chaos gritted his teeth and charged forward. His body, which seemed to be made of chaos dark iron, was burning fiercely. He waved his fist and met Su Yin, who was charging at him. Boom! The 2 fists collided in an instant. The vast void trembled and exploded, accompanied by splashes of blood. The corporeal bodies of the 2 powerhouses trembled as they fought fiercely with Su Yin. His body was like a grand primeval star, and his strength even surged with the force of toppling mountains and overturning seas. It pressured the 4th son of Chaos to the point his body trembled while a large amount of blood sprayed out from his pores. Boom! It was also at this moment that a figure leaped over and raised his hand to slap Su Yan's head with lightning speed. This slap was fast, accurate, and ruthless, containing the power to shatter his essence, energy, and spirit. The 8th scion attacked with lightning speed. Su Yin did not retreat under the shocking gazes of the people around him. This slap landed solidly on Su Yan's head and almost slammed him to the ground. The powerful force attacked his head, and Su Yin almost fainted. Kill! Blood flowed from Su Yan's face. It was filled with extreme bloodthirst. His eyes were filled with murderous intent, and he was like a god or devil who had returned from hell. His entire body emitted terrifying strength as he attacked the fourth son of chaos. Heavens! Everyone's faces turned pale. Su Yin took the eighth son of chaos's attack head-on. His body was like a blood-stained comet that crushed everything in front of him, and a huge explosion occurred in the void. Puffed. The fourth son of chaos looked as if he had been struck by lightning. He coughed up a large mouthful of blood, and his arm was broken. Su Yin's fist landed heavily on his chest. A large part of his sternum was broken, and he flew out uncontrollably. Fourth brother, the eighth scion, was frightened, and he raised his hand again to suppress Su Yin. But Su Yin was faster. His figure crossed the sky, and he charged forward, waving his terrifying fist and smashing it toward the fourth son of chaos. Su Yin is risking his life. Someone lost control and exclaimed, his voice trembling. He's risking his life to kill the fourth son of chaos first. This is crazy. None of the two sons of primal chaos can defeat Su Yin in a one-on-one battle of physical strength. Su Yin is risking his life now. I really hope he can beat up the two sons of chaos. The onlookers' emotions surged, and many people secretly applauded. They're so shameless as to join forces against Su Xianren. I really hope Su Xianren can beat them up. In the past few days of bloody battles, they held Su Xianren in high esteem. Just his willpower and invincible body were enough to make them sigh in admiration. They felt that Su Yin could really rule the world in the field of physical strength. They even felt that Su Yin was becoming more and more courageous as he fought. Some people were suspicious. They felt that Su Yin had obtained the inheritance of the trial space. Perhaps it was because of the continuous bloody battles, fighting at the limit, and burning in the extreme realm that Su Yin thirsted for combat strength, that he was able to comprehend some important inheritance in such a short time. A person erupts in the extreme realm. Su Yin rises in the extreme realm. Erupt, Madman Su. Kill the two sons of chaos and let them know that the world is not a forbidden zone for life. Some people were secretly cheering for Su Yin and cheering him on. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly as they stared unblinkingly at the battlefield. On the bloodstained Dao platform, the vision was terrifying. The young Overlord was putting his life on the line, and the scene was becoming more and more terrifying. There was a kind of madness, blood, and killing intent to crush the enemy. Roar! The fourth son of primal chaos was truly enraged. He was continuously suppressed by Su Yin. He wanted to reverse the situation, but he wasn't able to do so. After fighting for 3 days and 3 nights, everyone was aware of their own trump cards and methods. And now, Su Yin had completely gone mad. He was putting his life on the line and erupting while bathed in blood. His willpower was terrifying. Bastard! The eighth son of chaos wanted to tear Su Yin apart, but he couldn't do it. His strength was still inferior to the fourth son's. His strength smashed wildly on Su Yin's body, but it was difficult to move the foundation of this iron-blooded overlord's body. Su Yin was constantly injured, but in his madness, he beat the fourth son of chaos like a dead dog. His fists were blazing as he threw punch after punch. In the end, he rained down on the fourth son of chaos like a torrential storm. Kill! Su Yin roared. Bathed in blood, he was unleashed. His body was burning, and thousands of layers of divine light rose. His complex physique continued to erupt. He seemed to be carrying thousands of physiques on his back. Under the stimulation of the Dao platform's inheritance, the thousands of physiques shook at the same time. It was as if thousands of gods and devils had been resurrected. Su Yin was endowed with peerless fighting strength. For a moment, it was terrifying. The Dao platform's inheritance allowed Su Yin to grasp the treasures of his physiques. Then, as he operated, Su Yin became stronger by a large margin. He suppressed the vast trial space until it became somewhat dim. The spectators in the distance were surprised and delighted. The fourth son of chaos was trembling from Su Yin's attacks. Half of his body almost collapsed. He was in despair. How could this be? How could Su Yin continue to become stronger? He was completely utilizing his advantages to crush his opponent. The eighth son was even more frightened. He raised his hand to slash Su Yin, but his hand seemed to have touched the source of thousands of supreme physiques. His entire hand could not be pressed down. It was blocked by Su Yan's divine might. What was this? Su Yin had not made a move, but he was able to block the attack of the eighth son of chaos with his own energy. Who would believe it if they heard about it? In this trial space where pure physical strength was used, Su Yin was truly dominating the field. Are you done? It's my turn now. Su Yan's eyes shone with a cold light. He borrowed the power of the Tao platform to perfectly control it. The power of his physique was completely activated by him. It was as if the sky was filled with supreme bodies. The aura he released was extremely domineering. Boom! This punch pierced through the heavens, blasting the eighth son of primal chaos' entire palm apart. The eighth son screamed and spat out blood. There was a trace of fear in his heart. He immediately retreated. Otherwise, he felt that he would be killed by Su Xianren right there and then. But where could the eighth son of primal chaos escape to? Su Yin directly soared into the sky, raised his large hand, and slammed it forward. It contained extreme lightning that completely covered the entire battlefield. The eighth son of primal chaos had nowhere to run. The eighth son of chaos was directly hit. His entire body was cracking, and he fell onto the Tao platform. Blood was gushing out his body. He looked extremely miserable, and there was a trace of fear in his heart. What kind of physique did he have? Was it an invincible physique that was once extinct? The onlooking cultivators lost their composure. The situation of the battle had really been reversed. The two of them together could not stop Su Yin at all. He was like an overlord who split open the sky. His figure crossed the sky and appeared in front of the fourth sun. In an instant, the energy fluctuated violently. The giant Tao platform was rumbling. In a short period of time, there was a flash of bloody light. People saw a man full of bloody aura. He released a soaring combat strength, raised his hand, and tore off the fourth son's entire arm. No! The fourth son let out a miserable cry. Before he could recover from the pain, Su Yin directly raised his foot and kicked him into the sky. His body was about to explode. Kill! Su Yin roared. His fist was unparalleled. He was going to penetrate the fourth son and blow him up in the trial space. At this moment, the eighth son of chaos rushed over. He pulled the fourth son of chaos, who was flying into the void, and rushed madly toward the gate of the trial space. Su Yin and the others are going to escape. Someone shouted. Their expressions were out of control. What a heaven-defying feat! The two sons of chaos had been beaten by Su Yin until they lost their will to fight. Now, they were going to escape from the trial space. Su Yin originally wanted to stop them and leave one of them behind. However, he was surprised that the seventh son suddenly came and rushed here from the gate of the trial space. After all, the Tao platform was huge enough to accommodate millions of creatures. The two sons escaped and did not encounter the seventh son. Therefore, they missed a perfect opportunity to join forces. Once the seventh son joined in, the two sons could revive and suppress Su Yin. They really came at the right time. Su Yin changed his mind. Instead of killing them, he might as well obtain the 9 rare fire essences in the seventh son's body. Moreover, even if Su Yin attacked with all his strength, he would only be able to kill one of them. The other would most likely flee if he saw that the situation was bad. So yeah, I've come. I've come to accept my death. The seventh son of chaos expression was cold. 9 colored flames rose from his body. He was like a heavenly king of fire, majestic and domineering. Chapter 11:28. So yeah, I've come. I've come to accept my death. A grim voice spread through the entire Tao platform, filled with a domineering aura. The entire trial space was dyed red with blood, and all of the surrounding cultivators were left dumbfounded. Someone else had come in. Even Su Xianren had come to accept his death. Everyone's eyes soon fell upon the seventh son of chaos. He exuded an awe-inspiring divine might, and a domineering aura that drew everyone's attention. His wounds had healed, and he stood at the peak of his condition. His body was bathed in 9-colored flames. He was like a supreme being of the fire Tao, overlooking the battlefield. His eyes were cold as he came to reclaim his lost dignity. It's the seventh son. The entire audience was in an uproar. Some people were completely dumbfounded. They stared at the domineering seventh son of chaos and wanted to say, little seventh, do you know that your fourth brother and eighth brother were beaten up by Su Xianren? They even fled. The seventh son has come, but the eighth son and fourth son have already left. Moreover, they just fled. Isn't it too much of a coincidence that he arrived? Before, the fourth son said that he sent someone to notify the seventh son. Only by joining forces would the three of them be able to destroy Su Yan. But now they've fled. One is cheating his big brother, and the other is cheating his little brother. You can't say that. After all, the seventh son's arrival is too much of a coincidence. It just so happened that the fourth son and eighth son fled. But Su Xianren's heart is as sharp as steel, so he missed this perfect opportunity. Perhaps the seventh son will arrive just in time and reverse the situation. No matter how strong Su Yan is, he won't be able to withstand the combined attacks of the three sons. Some people discussed, seemingly relaxed. This was because the outcome had already been decided. Since the seventh son had arrived and was facing Su Xianren alone, this was truly a tragedy. Su Yan, I've come. I've come. The seventh son of chaos had completely entered the trial space. His cold eyes swept through the entire area. Soon, he saw Su Yan and was about to speak. He frowned and whispered, "Where are fourth brother and eighth brother?" His eyes scanned the entire trial space, but he couldn't find his fourth brother or his eighth brother. He could only see Su Xianren, who was covered in a bloody stench. When Su Xianren stared at him with a pair of cold eyes, the seventh son of primal chaos felt a headache coming on. He was anxious. Where did fourth brother and eighth brother go? Could it be that he had come to the wrong place? Or had they encountered an accident? He left the trial space. The seven sons felt an ominous feeling in his heart. He looked left and right and wanted to leave. He had to figure out the situation first. In any case, Shishio could still send him in. "I'm here." Su Yan raised his hand. His entire body was covered in blood, and even his arm was covered in blood. He waved at the seven sons and said indifferently, Come here. I'm right here." The seventh son of primal chaos, who had just turned around and was about to leave, froze. Cold sweat broke out on his back. The onlookers were dumbfounded. Seven wanted to escape when he saw that the situation was not right, but it would be strange if Su Xianren let him escape. "I came to the wrong place. Goodbye." The seventh son of primal chaos said in a deep voice. He fled, faster than a rabbit. His eyes stared at the trial space's door as if he were grasping at a life-saving straw. This was because he felt a cold air, an oppressive cold air, wildly surging towards him, about to swallow him whole. This caused the seventh son of primal chaos to panic, and all the hair on his body stood on end. He was scared stiff. Fourth brother and eighth brother had disappeared, and they were likely dead. Perhaps they had escaped, but it couldn't be so coincidental that they had escaped the moment he entered, right? In short, the seventh son was so scared that his legs went soft, but his legs were also very nimble. He ran as fast as he could, but just as he was about to cross the door and feel safe, he felt as if he had fallen into an icy pit. It was like a demonic mountain had risen up behind him. The bloody stench that filled the air caused the seventh son to tremble. He turned his head and saw Su Yan's blood-stained face, but there was still a smile on his face. "I'm right here." Su Yan's voice exploded in his ears, shocking the seventh son into erupting with power. 9-colored flames blazed around him, and his entire body was covered in flames that burned through the void. He wanted to burn down Su Yan. Su Yan suddenly raised a hand and placed it on the seventh son's shoulder, ignoring the burning pain of the flames. "I'm right here. Why are you leaving? Didn't you come looking for me?" Su Yan's hand exerted force, causing the seventh son's legs to shake. He lost control of his body, and it seemed as if he would explode. You. The seventh son's heart was filled with fear. What kind of power was this? It was as if he could see countless supreme bodies coming back to life. The pressure caused his heart to tremble with fear, and he didn't dare to look directly at Su Yin. Su Yin seemed to be patting him on the shoulder in a friendly manner, but in truth, the power behind it was not friendly at all. The seventh son's body trembled, and a heaven-shaking sound rang out. The seventh son's blood and chi boiled, and blood was about to spurt out of his mouth and nose. Boom! The seventh son of primal chaos erupted in an instant. His body burned to the extreme, and his greatest battle prowess emerged. He wanted to force Su Yin back and escape from the trial space entrance. The seventh son of primal chaos was naturally very strong. He had awakened to the extreme, and it was truly terrifying. His entire fist was burning with 9-colored heavenly flames, brilliant and resplendent as it bombarded Su Yin. Umph! Su Yin coldly snorted. Facing the seventh son of primal chaos, who was trying to kill him, his moves were simple and domineering. He threw a punch at the seventh son of primal chaos with peerless strength. Fiery light exploded in the sky, and a great collapse was born in the void. Under the shocked gazes of all around, the seventh son of primal chaos appeared very weak. His fist was shattered by Su Yin's fist, and his body was sent flying. No matter how powerful and magnificent the energy he released just now was, it was completely defeated in front of Su Yin. How is this possible? The seventh son of primal chaos coughed up large mouthfuls of blood, and his eyes were filled with shock. How could Su Yin be so strong? They all boasted that their mortal bodies were invincible. Even if Su Yin possessed a prehistoric supreme physique, it still wasn't possible for him to be so ridiculous. Su Xianren has become even stronger. It's strange. How did he become so frightening? That's right, we are all first-level celestial gods here. So why is Su Xianren's strength so barbaric? Even someone as strong as the seventh son can't stop him. The onlookers were dumbfounded. Some people instantly felt that this was related to the inheritances here, but they were confused. Even if Su Yin really did obtain an inheritance, it shouldn't be enough to suppress the seventh son so much that they couldn't raise their heads, right? The seventh son of primal chaos was strong, and everyone had seen this with their own eyes. But what they didn't expect was that Su Yin had borrowed the inheritance of the Tao platform to perfectly control the strength of his physique. Once it erupted, it was as if all the supreme physiques had gathered into one, giving birth to an extremely abnormal strength. Moreover, this strength was still in a half-dormant state. If it were to completely awaken, just how strong his physique would be was truly unknown. Bring out your full strength and fight with me. Su Yin strode forwards, like a martial arts grandmaster. His aura was completely different, and as he raised his hand, he exuded a pressure of millions and millions. He was a little dissatisfied. The reason he had been able to quickly grasp the Tao platform inheritance was because he had been in a fierce battle with the two sons of primal chaos. He had been in a peak state this entire time, so he was able to quickly grasp a portion of the mysteries of the inheritance. Now, Su Yin wanted to continue fighting, but he lifted his hand and pressed forwards. Facing this overwhelming strength, the seventh son of primal chaos could only despair. He couldn't stop Su Yin. The two weren't on the same level, and his flesh was torn apart. Is this all you've got? Su Yin looked down at the seventh son of primal chaos. His words made the seventh son of primal chaos feel ashamed. Cold, murderous intent flashed in his eyes, and the 9-colored heavenly flames that covered his body blazed brightly. But in an instant, they merged together, trying to evolve into a primal chaos space-time flame that could destroy the world. But the moment this energy was formed, the primal chaos space-time flame couldn't be called too strong. Although it burned at a terrifying temperature, it lacked the strength it should have. How pitiful! Su Yin shook his head, and his fist directly shattered the primal chaos space-time flame. He strode forwards, his vicious aura filling the air as he looked down at the seventh son of primal chaos. His words enraged the seventh son of primal chaos. I'm not skilled in the physical body. Why combine 9 flames? I'm invincible. Invincible? Su Yan's eyes shone with a vicious light. He slapped the seventh son of primal chaos so hard that half of his face caved in, and he spat out 7 or 8 teeth. He was in an incomparably wretched state, and he fell to the ground, trembling. I'll make you invincible. Su Yan kicked out again, sending the seventh son flying high into the air. He was too miserable. He was being beaten up by Su Yan, completely unable to resist. I refuse to accept this. The seventh son roared. He was truly mad with hatred. Over the endless years, he had also comprehended an ultimate technique. It wasn't focused on his physical body, but rather on his Tao and technique. What do you have to refuse to accept? Even if you've really walked a path that belongs to you, it still isn't a path that's truly invincible in all major domains. Su Yan had a kind of enlightenment. In the heavenly God realm, one had to accumulate exceptional resources and comprehend a path that belonged to them. In the future, they could charge toward the divine king realm, and only then could they be called a supreme king. If they didn't walk this path, even if they became a divine king, they still wouldn't be strong enough. The divine king realm was already at the peak of the great Tao. From the heavenly God realm to the divine king realm, it was a realm of extreme sublimation. In the future, they would pass through the divine king realm and step into the ranks of the great Tao. Only then would they be able to unleash their own resources without limit. No wonder Xiaohou had them comprehend Tao. This was very important. Moreover, these 3 hadn't walked their own path of invincibility. They weren't strong enough. You're only relying on your physique. If you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to suppress me. The seventh son roared furiously, getting to the point. If you didn't have the 9 great flames, you really wouldn't be worth mentioning in my eyes. Su Yan shook his head and spoke an even crueler truth. This caused the 7 Scions time continuum to roar. In the trial space, the bloodline that they were most proud of could not be used, and the various prehistoric, great supernatural powers that they had mastered could not be used either. In a pure physical battle, the 2 of them couldn't even keep Su Yan in check, let alone a mere 7th son. Offer up the 9 great flame sources, and I can consider sparing your life. Su Yan's foot stepped on the 7th son's chest, looking down at him. His words made the onlooker's hair stand on end. This was seizing the good fortune of the Valley of Primal Chaos. The 9 great flame sources were extremely precious. The 7th son came to deliver good fortune. Many people were dumbfounded. The outcome left them speechless. Meanwhile, some people in the outside world were still worried for Su Yan because the 7th son had barged into the trial space. In particular, there was a great earthquake in the Tao Church. When the news came, the entire Tao Church was shaken. The Chaos Pagoda was extremely important, but a powerful figure in the Tao Church had broken the rules and sent the 7th son into the trial space to kill Su Yan. Bang! On the peak of a mountain filled with Pil Qi, Liang Yan, who was as gentle as water, wore a light blue dress. She was like an orchid in an empty valley. She was beautiful and serene, occasionally smiling as she carefully tended a fragrant herb garden. When Liang Yan heard the heated incident in the Taoist church, where several aged herbs that Liang Yan had picked fell to the ground, and the news that spread like wildfire in the Taoist church broke Liang Yan's calm heart, her slender hands clenched tightly, and her face turned slightly pale. I watched from afar. In the future, you will be invincible unto the heavens. How could you? She heard some news that the 3 sons of the Valley of Primal Chaos had joined forces to kill Su Yan. There was even a powerful figure in the Tao Church who wanted to help. Chapter 1129. There was a blazing cauldron in the middle of the simple and unadorned hall. Pil Qi swirled around the interior of the hall, and a fragrant aroma assailed the nostrils. Liang Yan was currently bowing respectfully at the center, performing the etiquette of a disciple, clearly stating her intentions for coming. This was the alchemy room of one of the vice deans. There were 3 vice deans in total, and Shangli was a female almighty. She had taken the face-retaining pill when she was young, but as time passed, her appearance had aged. There was a middle-aged woman with an upright appearance and a calm expression. She wore a Taoist robe and looked at Liang Yan. She was particularly fond of this disciple, especially her aloof personality. She was even prepared to pass on her mantle. "Child, you've been in the sect for several years, and this is the first time you're begging me." Shangli chuckled. She looked at Liang Yan's anxious expression with a strange expression. She understood Liang Yan very well. She turned a blind eye to many things in the world, but this was the first time she had seen her so anxious because of someone. However, when she thought about it, that person was Su Xianren of the younger generation, and Shangli was no exception. No wonder she looked down on the indestructible body. It turned out that her heart was with Su Yin. Su Yin of the burial region. "I've also heard of him," Shangli praised. She was an almighty of a generation and a titan of the alchemy world. She had a very high opinion of Su Yin. "Master, please take action and help him." Liang Yan looked very pitiful. She pleaded. "After all, it was an almighty from our Tao temple who broke the rules. I know a little about the chaotic valley. The 9 signs of chaos are all very powerful. Suddenly, Su Yan's cultivation is extraordinary, but if the 3 of them work together, Su Yin will find it difficult to resist. I fear his life will be in danger." Hearing this, Shangli walked forward and helped her up. She smiled faintly. "Don't worry, my disciple. Our Tao temple has been established for 1,000,000 years and has its own rules. Shishio relied on the chaotic valley, so no one dares to touch him. Right? Don't worry, I don't need to do anything. Someone will punish him. It wasn't just this place." In another palace hall, Vice Dean Jean used divine might was boundless. His appearance was dignified and dignified. He was in his golden years, and the essence blood within his body was as boundless as the sea. His foundation was immeasurable, and he was very close to the level of a supreme expert. "Nonsense. You are in seclusion, and your physique is about to transform into the true sacred body of Tying. This is a prehistoric supreme physique. How can you come out of seclusion so easily?" Vice Dean Jean was extremely displeased as he looked down at the fairy-like woman in white. E.C. Yin had always lived in seclusion in the Taoist temple. She was once a woman from the Snow Mountain, but now she was the most outstanding disciple of the Taoist temple. Within her snow-white skin, there was a faint surge of terrifying Tying holy power. Her physique had almost completely evolved, and the Tao Hall had paid a huge price for her. However, at the critical moment, E.C. Yun had forced herself out of seclusion for a man. This made Vice Dean Jean Yu extremely displeased. "Master knows where I come from." E.C. Yun frowned slightly and said in a low voice, "I am a member of the Zhongyu clan, and Su Yin is my only family. Now, there's an old fart in the Taoist temple who is breaking the rules and trying to harm Su Yin. The Taoist temple is unfair." Vice Dean Jean Yu was furious. The Taoist temple had paid a huge price for her, but she directly said that the Taoist temple was unfair. However, since E.C. Yin said that Su Yin was her only family, Vice Dean Jean Yu didn't say anything more. He said in a low voice, "Go back and seclude yourself. Don't worry about Su Yin." But E.C. Yin's pretty face changed slightly. After all, a supreme expert from the Taoist temple had made a move. Would the Taoist temple really offend the Valley of Chaos for Su Yin and even fight against a supreme expert? Boom! Just as Vice Principal Goldfeather was about to answer, the majestic aura of the great Tao temple suddenly released a powerful space-time fluctuation, as if a supreme divine artifact was about to erupt. "I think he's tired of living. He bullied my brother and even dared to break the iron rules of the Taoist temple. What courage did the Valley of Chaos give him? How dare he tamper with the Chaos Pagoda?" A thunderous roar exploded, causing the people of the Taoist temple to pale. As expected, there were experts from the Taoist temple who couldn't sit still and directly exploded, wanting to punish Grand Elder Shishio. "Who is it?" E.C. Yin was stunned. Could it be that Su Yin had befriended a powerful figure in the Taoist temple? The reason why she said that it was a powerful figure was because the source of the voice came from the depths of the Taoist temple, a bamboo forest with a sea of golden clouds rising. This purple bamboo forest seemed to be rooted in the depths of space-time, and it was difficult to see what was going on inside. There were golden clouds rising within, and wisps of purple clouds faintly appeared. The bamboo forest had a sacred and solemn aura, as if it was a place of enlightenment. It was very eye-catching, but vaguely, this place was filled with a kind of energy fluctuation that made people panic, as if some big shot lived here. Some of the core experts of the Taoist temple knew that this purple bamboo forest was the most sacred place in the Taoist temple. It had existed for a long time, generation after generation, and never declined. Even the vice dean of the Taoist temple found it difficult to enter the purple bamboo forest. This was the forbidden zone of forbidden zones, and its status was not inferior to the forbidden zone of life. Forbidden zone, the disciples of the Taoist temple were in an uproar. Although they didn't know what the purple bamboo forest represented, they knew that even powerful figures couldn't enter it easily. But now, there was an angry voice coming from the purple bamboo forest. Countless people in the Taoist temple were dumbfounded. To them, the beings who lived in the purple bamboo forest were all supreme beings. But what were they hearing now? Among them, there was a mysterious person who spoke. He said that Su Yin was his brother and even cursed Xiao. What was going on? Since when did Su Yin have anything to do with the Taoist temple? Something big is going to happen. The Taoist temple was in an uproar. A mysterious figure in the purple bamboo forest had spoken. Not only had Xiao tarnished the Taoist temple's reputation, but more importantly, Su Yin was very close to a powerful figure in the Taoist temple. If they were close enough to call each other brother, how could they not be close? Some people thought that Xiao was in trouble. So what if it was the Valley of Chaos? The Taoist temple had existed for a long time and had been prosperous for generations. With the supreme purple bamboo forest suppressing the Taoist temple's foundation, the Taoist temple had nothing to fear from the Valley of Chaos. Who is it? Isi Yun and Liang Yan, the two outstanding women of the Taoist temple, were shocked. A large number of outstanding disciples of the Taoist temple even stood up. Some of the seeds who had been sealed for a long time opened their eyes in disbelief. The Taoist temple's foundation really exceeded the outside world. Isi Yun had the sacred lunar body, so she knew that there was a group of people in the Taoist temple with terrifying constitutions, especially those with prehistoric constitutions. But the Taoist temple kept a low profile, which undoubtedly proved how terrifying the Taoist temple was. Buzz! Within the purple bamboo forest that caught their attention, a pair of blazing silver pupils suddenly soared. It was suffused with a terrifying aura and emitted a peerless and astonishing pressure. It was as if a sleeping supreme being was awakening. I think I saw a supreme. Many young cultivators trembled. In a flash, they saw a supreme being standing at the peak of the universe, looking down on them, making it difficult for them to look straight at him. Where are the three deputy deans? A roar came from the purple bamboo forest. Pass down my order. Detain Xiao. Anyone who obstructs him will be killed without mercy. It was as if a supreme's anger had spread through the entire Taoist temple, shaking billions of territories. Suddenly, the dormant Taoist temple was awakening, and its peerless foundation was revealed. Boom! One by one, shadows with imposing auras stood up. The three deputy deans of the Taoist temple. They were the three giants, Jin Yu and Shang Li. At that moment, even the reclusive Shang Li's body was rippling with chaotic heavenly fire. Although she was an alchemist, she was also one of the mighty figures with extraordinary combat strength. She was no weaker than a supreme mighty figure. The two deputy deans, their power was no weaker than a supreme mighty figure's. Of course, the most terrifying one was the third. He had not come out for thousands of years. Now, from the depths of the Taoist temple, the light of billions of blood essence spread out. An extremely imposing figure was the Taoist temple's legendary monument, Kong Xian. Among the three deputy deans, Kong Xian was the strongest. Many people secretly called him the dean of the Taoist temple. The 3 deputy deans of the Taoist temple have all stood up. It was even an order from the bamboo forest. Many disciples were dumbfounded. Then their blood boiled. This was the Taoist temple. Once it was serious, its power was immeasurable. Although the Taoist temple kept a low profile, when it was serious, it was enough to scare people to death. His combat strength is getting stronger and stronger. Jin Yu was surprised. He looked at Shangli, who nodded secretly. However, the Taoist temple had always kept a low profile and did not care about worldly affairs. They did not know how strong its foundation was. The reason was that the purple bamboo forest was the true ruler of the Taoist temple. It was equivalent to the Taoist temple's forbidden zone. Kong Xian walked over. He was dressed simply and had a bronze-colored body. Although he was bald, he looked quite heroic. "You're going to capture Shishio too?" Jin Yu asked. He felt that it was making a mountain out of a molehill. It was just Shishio. He could suppress him and bring him back. Hearing this, Kong Xian rubbed his bald head. His expression did not match that of a supreme powerhouse. He revealed a simple and honest smile. He smiled and said in a low voice, "Sister Fairy is most likely angry. We should finish the mission as soon as possible." If the disciples of the Taoist temple heard this, they might have bitten their tongues and taken a tumble. However, Jin Yu and Shangli did not find Kong Xian's words amusing. He didn't find it funny at all. Instead, he felt that it was a very serious question and an extremely correct way to address him. "It's time for the Taoist temple to come into being." Jin Yu narrowed his eyes and said, "Let's go and see if this Shishio's wings have hardened or if he has obtained some kind of opportunity." With the 3 giants joining forces, the disciples thought that they would set off immediately. Unexpectedly, Kong Xian waved his sleeve and a large bell flew out. It was as tall as the heavens and the earth and was filled with the profound mysteries of the universe. If it really shook, the sound of the bell would most likely spread throughout the vast land of chaos. Jin Yu's feet shone as a golden path extended out. It was vast and majestic, reaching the outside world. Boom! The universe bridge was awakened. In an instant, it pierced through hundreds of millions of miles and smashed into the ends of the universe. The disciples were stunned. Wasn't this a bit too extravagant? As for the various powerhouses entrenched in the Chaos Pagoda, some were happy and some were worried. Shishio was full of smiles, looking forward to a good answer. Anyway, he had already done it. If he returned from the Chaos Valley with a full load, he would also be able to gain a lot of benefits. However, the smile on his face did not last for long. This was because the commotion from afar was really effective. It made some of the mighty figures entrenched in the surroundings tremble in fear. Chapter 1130. Cosmic Bridge. At present, there were at least 10 to 20 almighty experts in the Primal Chaos Pagoda. Now, they were all astonished to see the cosmic bridge flying over. The golden path spread out like a cosmic bridge, covering a vast territory and extending all the way to the Primal Chaos Pagoda. Some people looked at Shishio. They guessed that most of the Tao Temple knew that Shishio had cheated for himself and wanted to kill Su Yan. Because he had angered the Tao Temple, they had even used the Universal Bridge. It seemed that the Tao Temple's powerful figures had made a move. However, what happened next left them all stupefied. There was a grand and vast bell sound that rumbled through the air. An enormous golden bell shone, rumbling and ringing. The bell sound was so grand that it suppressed all life in the universe until they trembled in fear. Oh my God! The whole place was in an uproar. The Tao Church's 2 supreme treasures had appeared with boundless power. They surged with energy fluctuations as they charged toward the Primal Chaos Pagoda. They even saw 3 peerlessly powerful figures. They crossed a large region with each step along the cosmic bridge. They had rushed here in a short period of time. The 3 were like 3 immortal furnaces burning with blazing light. The Tao Church's 3 heavyweights are here. What happened? Is it because of Shishio? The crowd was shocked. What was going on? Even though Shishio had broken the rules and helped the Chaos Valley deal with Su Yan, But it wasn't enough for the Tao Church's 3 heavyweights to step forward and descend in person. Were they here to denounce him or to do something? Shisho's expression was ugly. How could this be? He had broken the rules and sent the 7 sons into Su Yan's trial space. Was there a need for the 3 heavyweights to stand up for him? Even if he had broken the rules, there was no need for such a lineup. Besides, Su Yan had many enemies. The Tao Church might not protect him. But now, the 3 heavyweights had arrived. They looked at Shishio and made his scalp go numb. But he was still a powerhouse, so he quickly calmed down and said, "The 3 vice deans have graced us with your presence. Forgive me for not going out to meet you." Humph! The 3 heavyweights snorted and their expressions sank. This made Shishio's face tremble. It couldn't be, right? "Shishio, do you know your crime?" Vice Dean Jinyu shouted. "What's wrong, Vice Dean Jinyu?" Shishio clenched his fists and said with a sullen face, "How did I offend Vice Dean Jinyu? Since you don't know your crime, I'll tell you." Deputy Chief Jinyu's dignified face revealed a hint of anger as he shouted, "You are also an elder of the Taoist temple. You hold a high position and are also a powerful cultivator. Considering your past contributions to the Taoist temple, I specially allowed you to oversee the Great Path City. But you, for your own selfish desires, targeted Su Yan in the Great Path City back then. Everyone was in an uproar. They really didn't know about this matter. They definitely didn't expect that Shishio had also intervened in the disaster of the Great Tao City back then. You've offended a taboo and lost an arm." Vice Principal Jinyu said angrily. "If you hadn't stopped in time, you should know the consequences." Everyone was in an uproar. So that was how his arm had been severed. The people of the world would never forget the loss of the sealed heaven region. Indeed, Shishio had targeted Su Yan back then and had almost caused a great disaster for the Tao Palace. "You." Shishio's expression was ugly. Vice Principal Jinyu had exposed his scandal in front of everyone. It really made him look bad. But the 3 great leaders were right in front of him. What could he say? This was the truth, and not something that Vice Principal Jinyu had fabricated out of thin air. He could only grit his teeth and say, "It's all in the past. I don't want to mention it again." Before that, Vice Principal Jinyu said with a cold face, "You actually broke the iron law of the Chaos Pagoda and broke its test rules. I see that you really don't care about the Tao Palace, and even want to kill Su Yan." Shishio wanted to say something, but he couldn't refute. After all, this was obvious to everyone. As a powerful cultivator, he didn't have the face to refute. Some people nearby were discussing. What was going on? Why did the Tao Palace suddenly stand up for Su Yan? Could it be that the Tao Palace had a relationship with one of the 3 great leaders? Or was there some other special reason? I'll now give you a chance to atone for your sins. Vice Principal Jinyu shouted coldly, "Go, throw the 3 scions of chaos out. Otherwise, the Tao Palace will not spare you." Terrifying, murderous intent spread out. A cold light flashed in the eyes of the 3 great leaders. The people around were frightened. The Vice Principal's words represented the Tao Palace's intention. They wanted to kill Shishio, to redeem their lost honor, or because of Su Xianren. This was a powerful cultivator. How could they kill him just like that? Shishio's expression changed. They wanted him to throw the 3 scions of chaos out? It was tantamount to provoking the Chaos Valley. But if he didn't go, the 3 great leaders would kill him. He didn't doubt the 3 vice principals' attitude. He was really shocked. Was it because of the taboo behind Su Yan that made the 3 great leaders act? "Don't go overboard." Shishio suddenly gritted his teeth and said, "I, Shishio, am a powerful cultivator and the Tao Palace's supreme elder. Su Yan is most likely a dead man by now. He can't withstand the 3 scions' combined suppression. Helping a dead man provoke the Chaos Valley is unwise." "Idiot!" Kong Xian, who had been silent all this time, suddenly roared. It was a scene that sent chills down everyone's spine. Under the anger of a powerful cultivator, the vast universe trembled, and the sun, moon, and stars in the sky were about to explode. Some of the powerful cultivators nearby were scared. Kong Xian was a powerful cultivator with extraordinary combat strength. His physical body was domineering, and his aura could swallow large regions. Under his roar, Shishio spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying like a dead dog. His entire body was about to explode. He was a little frightened. What had happened to make Kong Xian so angry that he would target him? Shishio didn't have much experience. He immediately used a spatial transference technique to escape. But Kong Xian was too strong. When he stretched out his hand, it was enough to cover the entire region. The source of his divine power rippled out for billions of miles. Under his palm, Shishio looked very weak. No matter how fast he moved, he couldn't escape from Kong Xian's 5 fingers. 5-finger mountain. Someone cried out. That's a secret technique passed down in the Dao Palace for countless years. It's rumored to be a mystic technique exclusive to powerful cultivators. It's extremely powerful. Some mystic techniques were exclusive to powerful cultivators. Some mystic techniques couldn't be used by juniors. Once the 5-finger mountain was used, its mystic techniques could cross millions of miles and suppress powerful enemies. Vice Principal, spare me. Spare me. Shishio was just confused. Vice Principal, spare me. I'll beat the Chaos 3 signs out. Shishio cried out miserably as he was suppressed by the 5-finger mountain. As long as Kong Xian's 5 fingers closed, he would undoubtedly die. Shangli shook her head. It was too late now. Besides, even if they didn't kill Shishio on account of their past relationship, they would only teach him a lesson. However, the person roaring in the purple bamboo forest wouldn't let the matter rest. Shishio most likely wouldn't live for long. So this is the Dao Palace. It's too domineering. Kong Xian is a powerful cultivator. He's ridiculously strong. Shishio was suppressed by him. The Dao Palace is still as trustworthy as before. I think we should let our most outstanding disciples join the Dao Palace in this generation. The actions of the 3 powerhouses made all the clans in the world look at them in a new light. It had to be said that the 3 powerhouses joining forces caused a violent storm. They directly suppressed Shishio. I'll make a trip and bring the Chaos 3 signs out. Vice Principal Jean had just taken a step when Kong Xian looked at him and said, I'll go. You might not be able to defeat the Chaos 3 science. Upon hearing this, Vice Principal Jean Yu's face turned green. However, he was right. He was indeed no match for a sky god when the 3 signs joined forces. But could Kong Xian beat them? Vice Principal Jean Yu didn't quite believe it either. Just as Kong Xian was about to step into the Chaos Pagoda, something happened that surprised them. In the trial space where Su Yin was, 2 bloodstained figures suddenly ran out. They were badly mutilated and in an unbelievably miserable state. One of them was even missing an arm, while the other walked with a limp. What was going on? Could it be that Su Yin had escaped from inside and was rescued by someone else? However, it seemed that the Chaos 3 Scions had just entered. Damn it! The Chaos 3 Scions looked at each other and released their auras at the same time. They were both Divine King. They took out great tonics and swallowed them to nourish their injured bodies. They were very angry. Why hadn't the Chaos 3 Scions come yet? If they wanted to enter the trial space a second time, they needed the help of the Dao Palace's powerful figures. Right now, Su Yin was still in the trial space and hadn't come out. They were prepared to join forces with the Chaos 3 Scions to kill their way in once more. No matter what, they had to kill Su Yin. They couldn't afford to lose face like this. If the Chaos 3 Scions couldn't even kill Su Yin, then the Valley of Chaos would really become a huge laughingstock. Where are the Dao Palace's people? Come out, I have orders. The Chaos 3 Scions was badly mutilated and missing an arm. His face was vaguely sinister. He was absorbing great tonics to heal his injuries as quickly as possible. He also wanted the Dao Palace to open the trial space and not give Su Yin a chance to recover. Little friend, are you Su Yin? Vice Principal Jean Yu walked over and smiled kindly. Little friend, don't misunderstand. There were some small problems before, but they've been resolved now. Who is Su Yin? Are you blind? The Chaos 3 Scions flew into a rage and cursed. He was in a fit of anger, but someone actually mistook them for Su Yin. You're not Su Yin? Kong Xian looked at the two scions in surprise. Could they be the Chaos 3 scions? But could Su Yin be so heaven-defying that he could force the Chaos 3 scions to leave? Could this guy's body be even more domineering than his own when he was younger? I think you're old and dim-sighted. And you, Baldy, what are you looking at? The 8 scions' eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. He was especially annoyed by Kong Xian's gaze. What the F***CK was there to look at? They wanted to admit their identities directly, but it was really humiliating. They couldn't tell them that the two of them were beaten out by Su Yin. Impudent. Shangli was furious. Her heart was as calm as water. But these two juniors dared to curse two mighty figures like this? Cursing the two vice principals of the Tao Palace was too much. Even if they had the identity of a divine master, these words were too much. You old woman, who allowed you to interrupt? The 4 scions' eyes darkened. The atmosphere was a little cold. Some people trembled and began to step back, worried that they would be implicated. The Han family's patriarch had already fled as far as he could. Although the 3 great leaders might not kill the Chaos 2 scions, they would most likely tear him apart. The mighty figures in the distance were speechless. The 3 vice principals of the Tao Palace were cursed. Shang Li was a female mighty figure, yet she was called an old woman by the 2 scions. The consequences would be serious. A female mighty figure. How many of them could be found in the entire cultivation world? Moreover, although Shang Li had declined, she still retained some of her peerless beauty from her youth. What should we do? Kong Xian did not particularly care. He touched his bald head and glanced at Shang Li. Kill them. Shang Li replied coldly. She had always been vain. Otherwise, she would not have spent so much to obtain a face-retaining pill when she was young. Vice Principal Jean, you did not say a word. He thought to himself, don't provoke a woman who's too capable. Otherwise, you'll end up miserable. Chapter 11:31. The people gathered in the area were dumbfounded. They did not know what to say. Many old sect masters knew Shang Li. She was a peerless beauty when she was young. She had many suitors. However, ever since she stepped into the realm of a mighty figure, those suitors did not dare to show their faces for fear of being beaten. Shang Li was also a prominent figure in the alchemy world. She was one of the deputy deans of the Tao Palace. This identity, this ability, this power, she was simply one of the strongest women in the Chaos Ruins. Who would dare to provoke her? Just her rallying power alone was enough to frighten people. Liang Yan becoming her disciple really attracted the jealousy of many proud daughters of the heavens. Moreover, Shang Li was an alchemist in the current universe who could refine 8th-grade golden pills. Such alchemists were extremely rare. Even the most powerful mighty figures had sought out Shang Li for medicine. Golden pills? The mighty figures had never seen one in their entire lives. Those were pills refined from divine herbs. They were too rare. Hence, Shang Li's identity and status in the cultivation world were too high. What did you say? The 2 sons of chaos were furious. They pointed at Shang Li, their eyes almost popping out. When Kong Xian sensed killing intent leaking from Shang Li's body, he immediately took action. He stretched out a huge hand and grabbed the 2 young masters of the Chaos Valley like an eagle grabbing a chick. Ah! At that instant, the 2 sons of chaos screamed. It was a heart-wrenching pain. They were about to be crushed into pieces by the divine king's body. In fact, during the process, they had gained insight into a power that suppressed the universe and stood above the great Tao. Vaguely, it was about to transform into a supreme spiritual will, a will that reigned supreme over the vast expanse of space and time. A paramount mighty figure. The expressions of the 2 sons of chaos changed drastically. This bald-headed man was actually a supreme powerhouse. Although there were a few paramount mighty figures in the Chaos Valley, they knew too well how terrifying and transcendent this level was. They were only one step away from the taboo. In this universe where the taboo did not appear, they were invincible giants. But before that, they were actually cursing an absolute almighty. In fact, the other 2 experts they were cursing seemed to be almighties as well. Even though they had great backgrounds, they were so scared that their legs went soft. The 8 sons immediately admitted their identities and said, "Please forgive us, Senior. We didn't know that you were an almighty being. We come from the Valley of Chaos and are the 8th and 4th sons of Chaos." What? They are the other 2 sons of Chaos. How could such a ridiculous thing happen? Kong Xian was also bewildered. Didn't they say that the 3 sons joined hands to put Su Yin to death? But why were the 2 scions of Chaos in such a state? Could this be considered a wasted trip? After all, Su Yin had already broken their alliance, and there was no need for them to interfere. This is too bizarre. 2 children of primal chaos lost miserably to Su Yin? Shishio was scared out of his wits and almost couldn't bear it. What kind of concept was this? This was an invincible stance, a peerless battle prowess that dominated the world. Even in the future, Su Yin might not necessarily be suppressed, and he might even rise up powerfully. Is the Valley of Chaos that amazing? 2 blazing flames burned in Shang Li's eyes, and the slight burst of light made the 2 scions of Chaos scream. Their eyes were pierced blind, and tears of blood flowed from their eyes. Their bodies began to tremble, but they didn't dare to utter any disrespectful words. Enough! Vice Principal Jean Fu shook his head and stopped Shang Li, saying, "Otherwise, the Valley of Chaos will say that we are bullying the weak. Just teach them a lesson, and that will be enough." At this time, someone hurriedly walked over and smoothed things over. He chuckled and said, "Ha! 3 vice principals. The situation is like this. The 7 sons just went in for a while, and then you all came. I didn't expect the 2 sons to be beaten out. This Su Yin is really something." The 7th brother went in. The 8 sons were terrified. The 7th brother went in alone, and once he encountered Su Yin, he would most likely be killed. Although we were defeated, Su Yin was also seriously injured. The 7th brother should be able to kill Su Yin. The 4 sons were still relatively calm, as if to maintain the Valley of Chaos's final dignity. He felt that the 7th brother wouldn't be defeated if he went in at full strength. The Valley of Chaos broke the rules of our Dao Palace. Shang Li's eyes narrowed, and she said, "Kong Xian, you go in and throw the 7th scion of Chaos out. Also, throw the 2 of them in." When she said this, the 2 scions of Chaos were so frightened that their legs turned to jelly. Their eyes were blinded, and they needed a peerless secret medicine to heal. But if they were to go in and face Su Yin now, wouldn't that be sending them to their deaths? Almighty expert, we were blind just now. You have already vented your anger. Now, for the sake of the Valley of Chaos, how about we stop here? The 8 sons knew when to yield and when to stand tall. He said in a low voice, "I think the 7th brother should just come out, and the 3 of us won't cause trouble for Su Yin anymore. What do you think? We will take it as an apology." Kong Xian's face was full of disdain. He made it sound like Su Yin had lost. The 3 of them had been beaten to such a state by Su Yin, and they had even escaped from the trial space. Did they not know who had lost miserably? "You don't have to go. I'll go in and take a look. I haven't seen Su Yin in a long time, and I miss him." At this time, a purple cloud flew over from afar. It was extremely fast, and in an instant, it arrived at the Chaos Pagoda. Within the purple divine light was a woman with a lithe figure. She wore a long purple dress and was graceful and graceful. She had the demeanor of a fairy as she charged towards the trial space where Su Yin was. Its fairy violet glow. Kong Xian smiled when he saw the purple-robed woman. "I think we will know what happened in there very soon. This Su Yin is quite impressive. If he can be lured into the Dao Palace, he will be a hidden dragon." The nearby onlookers whispered. In short, the Valley of Chaos had lost a lot of face. The 2 sons of Chaos had been manipulated by them, and they had to be submissive. If it were not for their status, they would most likely die here today. Shang Li alone was enough to make them suffer. Although the 2 sons of Chaos have been seriously injured, Su Yin must not have it easy either. The 7 sons of Chaos, who are at their peak, have entered. I wonder how they will fare against Su Yin. I really did not expect Su Yin's physical body to be so domineering. Even the 2 sons of Chaos could not stop him. After a few days and nights of bloody battle, they were defeated in the end. At this moment, some people finally reacted. They gasped, and their burning eyes stared at the trial space where Su Yin was. Fairy Violet Glow had already entered, and they were especially eager to see what would happen inside. However, the scene in the trial space was far beyond the expectations of the outside world. On the blood-stained Dao platform, the cultivators of various races gathered here were in a daze, and some were doubting their lives. That was the seventh son of Chaos, in his peak condition. His combat strength was at its peak. Now, he had encountered Su Yin, who had fought for several days and nights, and was being taught a terrible lesson. No matter how strong the seven sons were, they could not stop Su Yan's tyrannical and peerless combat strength. I will say it again. Hand over the 9 fire materials, and I will spare your life. Su Yan's expression was cold as he looked down at the seventh son of Chaos. His attitude made the seven sons extremely ashamed and angry. They fiercely resisted, and their damaged bodies glowed. Their entire body burned with flames, releasing their most powerful strength. Boom! Su Yin raised his palm and slapped down. The seven sons screamed like pigs being slaughtered. No matter how strong he was, he could only tremble in the face of the various kinds of supreme, heavenly might that Su Yin released. The flames that densely covered his body were crushed. His entire body seemed to have been struck by lightning as his body was shattered by a Su Yin slap. Ah! The seven sons screamed. They were in so much pain that they wished they were dead. They were so ashamed and angry that they were about to explode. He was one of the masters of the Valley of Chaos, one who looked down on all races of the universe. He was confident that in the future, he could destroy this world. But he hated that he could not display his strength. He was a divine king, and his 9 fires had not evolved to their strongest state. Unfortunately, in this trial space, he could only use his physical strength. This was especially true for the bloodline that he was most proud of. His prehistoric heavenly skill was completely unable to unleash any of its power. He was beaten until he was neither human nor ghost by Su Yin, a ferocious dragon in human form. He was extremely miserable. Pong! Su Yin's foot crushed his chest. He wanted to stomp his entire body into pulp. Since you won't give it to me, then I'll send you on your way. Su Yan's eyes shone with an ominous light. His foot stepped on the seven sons' chest, and his fist smashed down. He wanted to punch through the seven sons. I'll give. The seven sons wanted to cry. If he didn't give it to him, then he would die here. The 9 fire sources were the foundation for the seven sons' future rise. Although he had lost them, the Valley of Chaos could help him gather more in the future. If he lost his life, then everything would be lost. Everything would be lost. Like this, the seven sons' crippled body vibrated with 9 heavenly fire sources, causing the eyes of the onlookers to turn purple with envy. Any source energy was difficult to find in the world. There was even a chaos fire source among them. In the past, when the Sun Dome obtained this, it caused a great commotion. But as the 7th son of Chaos, he had grasped a total of 9 types of rare fire sources. After losing his 9 fires, the 7th son of Chaos aura was greatly damaged. He was weak to the extreme and even had a feeling that he would die. After all, he had lost his 9 fire sources and his combat strength had declined to the extreme. Very good. Su Yan's voice trembled. He never thought that he would be the one to obtain such a lucky chance. He reached out a palm and suppressed the 9 heavenly fires. Su Yin had the chaos source energy and could completely suppress the 9 heavenly fires. He directly placed them into his void bag. Can you fulfill your promise now? The 7th son of Chaos roared. He had lost 2 miserably today. He had collapsed on the ground and had almost lost everything. Now, he only wanted to live. As long as he kept his life, there was still hope for him to rise in the future. I said I would spare you, but I didn't say I would spare you now. Su Yin glanced at him and said, You. The 7th son's heart and lungs trembled. He was so angry that his blood flowed in reverse. He had really gone mad. He was so angry that smoke was coming out of his nostrils. He had already handed over the 9 heavenly fires, but now Su Yin wanted to return. Seeing that the 7th son was about to faint, Su Yin replied coldly, "Speak. What do you want from me in the Valley of Chaos?" The 7th son of Chaos suddenly quivered and said with a serious expression, "Perhaps we can talk peacefully." Smack! Su Yin slapped the 7th son, causing blood to flow from his mouth and nose. He began to doubt his life. "You think you're qualified to talk?" Su Yin said disdainfully, "Hurry up and speak. What do you want?" Chapter 1132. This is too violent. He's the successor of the Chaos Valley, the 7th son of Chaos. How can he be so weak now? The spectating cultivators were all dumbfounded. Right now, the entire space was filled with mournful screams. The 7 sons were truly being tortured to the point of insanity by ruthless Su. The experts were all doubting their own lives. Was this really the successor of the Life Forbidden Zone? The dignified 7th son of Chaos, who had fused with 9 rare heavenly flames, was beaten to a miserable state by Su Yin. In the end, the 7th son of Chaos spoke. After getting the answer he wanted, Su Yan's eyes were filled with bone-chilling coldness. "What is the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin? Why do they all want it?" Su Yin murmured. He didn't expect the Chaos Valley's goal to be the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin. Suddenly, Su Yin thought of many things in the past. It could be said that Su Yan's fate was also because of the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin. A heaven-defying turn had occurred. Thinking back to when he climbed the Snow Mountain, it was all because of the crystal pendant. The water spirit pendant was engraved with the picture of the Snow Mountain. It was a crystal pendant related to his identity and origin. It could also be called a piece of immortal jade. The picture on the immortal jade would automatically change when the 9 great immortal mountains appeared. Every time Su Yin approached the 9 great immortal mountains, the immortal jade would automatically show an image of him. It was also the key to opening the immortal mountains. Back then, Su Yin climbed the Snow Mountain and saw a blood-red coffin. It was opened by a dragon. From then on, the environment of Earth evolved into a god and devil civilization. These memories were still fresh in his mind. Back then, Su Yin had been in a deep sleep in the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin for 60 years. Isi had been a witness. She had protected Su Yin for many years. From a young and energetic woman, she had slowly aged. In the end, she had relied on her own strength to rescue Su Yin. The former Su Yin slept in the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin for 60 years. When he climbed out again, things had changed. The world had changed. His fate also began a shocking turn. Whether it was Su Yin or the Buried Realm tribe, the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin held great significance. The Ancestral Hall had spent a long time searching the vast universe for traces of the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin. Now that the Valley of Chaos had also noticed the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin through Su Yin, what was it? As the dusty memories surfaced, Su Yan's mood became complicated. His chest heaved up and down violently. What kind of secret was the burial region hiding? What was the origin of the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin? Why did the Ancestral Hall's Qiongqi spend such a long time searching for it? Could the Dragon Coffin of the Snow Mountain be related to the Celestial Court? Su Yin suddenly quivered. Perhaps this was true. In fact, the posterior progenitor was very mysterious. Its awakening process was too fast. What was the origin of the posterior progenitor? Why was it called the second ancestral land of the Burial Region clan? Perhaps the queen progenitor is also closely related to the Celestial Court. Su Yin pondered. His mood was complicated. There were some things he couldn't figure out. Something especially important must have happened in the past. Moreover, Su Yin speculated that the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin was something the taboo desired. Otherwise, the Ancestral Hall wouldn't have searched for it for so long. I really don't know. The 7th son of Chaos howled. He was about to go mad from being tortured by Su Yin. He didn't know what the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin was, but they had received a mission to obtain the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin through Su Yin. This was the will of the Valley of Chaos Master, and also the taboo behind them. You must be hiding something from me. Su Yan's eyes darkened. He coldly shouted, In the past, the Han family's old ancestor went to your Valley of Chaos. The Valley of Chaos Master was divining about me. Tell me what happened. Su Yin picked up the seventh son of Chaos and beat him up. He wanted to know what had happened at that time. At the same time, Su Yan's hair stood on end. It was definitely the taboo that was divining about him, divining that he was deeply involved with the Snow Mountain Dragon Coffin. Otherwise, the Valley of Chaos wouldn't have come looking for him again and again, wanting to make a deal with him, and even promising great rewards. I really don't know. The seventh son of Chaos gritted his teeth and growled. Besides, even if I know, this is related to the taboo. What can you do? Su Yin, we can have a good talk. This won't do you any harm. You'd rather be stubborn than smart. Su Yan's eyes burst with an ominous glint. His eyes turned golden and pierced the seventh son of Chaos eyeballs. Ah! The seventh son of Chaos screamed. He sensed a shocking divine soul fluctuation penetrating his sea of consciousness. This made him despair. Su Yin was searching his memories. Stop. Stop right now. The seventh son roared. He was one of the masters of the Valley of Chaos, and there were many secrets in his memories. Once Su Yin pried into them, the consequences would be dire. He might even reveal the location of the Valley of Chaos. In truth, the seventh son of Chaos was overthinking things. In the depths of his sea of consciousness, there was an extremely terrifying seal. When Su Yan's primordial spirit energy came into contact with it, this seal was directly activated. An indescribable aura howled out, shaking Su Yan's primordial spirit. Not good. Su Yan was shocked. He had been too impatient. He wanted to understand some secrets, but now he had overreached himself. Wong. Su Yan's primordial spirit was instantly revived, turning into a great Buddha that sat cross-legged in the future. He chanted the Sutra of the Future, wanting to sever his connection with the seventh son of Chaos. However, although the Sutra of the Future was strong, Su Yan's primordial spirit had yet to evolve into the Divine King's domain. In the face of the seventh son's primordial spirit fluctuation, Su Yan's primordial spirit was about to explode. Bang! Su Yin summoned the god, assimilating drum like a bolt of lightning, and blocked it. However, the soul assimilating drum shattered upon contact. Zhong Yuan's mysterious treasure was destroyed as a result. Su Yan's entire body trembled violently as he was sent flying. The space between his eyebrows had split open. The primordial spirit that was sitting cross-legged within flickered, as if it was about to collapse in the future. Su Yin, you're too careless. The sea of consciousness of a child of taboo. How can you pry into the child of chaos so easily? At this time, a light voice sounded out. From the distance, a purple-clothed woman walked over. Her figure was tall and graceful, and her steps were light. Her waist was slender, and her snow-white skin was suffused with purple clouds. She was like a pure and holy fairy. Su Yin bitterly smiled. He didn't have time to respond. His primordial spirit had been suppressed, and there was even an extremely evil energy that penetrated his primordial spirit, wanting to shatter it. Oh, you are too careless. Seeing Su Yan's embarrassed state, Fairy Zixiao laughed until she swayed back and forth. At the same time, she teased, now you have no way to deal with it, right? Don't you have a drop of taboo blood? This should be the taboo blood of the Chaos Valley's Valley Master. If you force it out, you will be able to resolve this disaster. With a thought, Su Yin instantly took out the sealed drop of a mortal Tao substance. This substance's aura was extremely similar to the seal in the seventh son's primordial spirit. When Su Yin took control of this drop of a mortal Tao substance, the attack on Su Yan's primordial spirit slowly dissipated. Su Yin heaved a sigh of relief. He didn't expect that he would be able to resolve it so easily. Otherwise, this threat would be too difficult for him to resolve. How could an ordinary person understand a taboo technique? Even if it was the technique of a supreme almighty, Su Yin wouldn't be able to break it so easily. Su Yan's face was pale. His primordial spirit had suffered great losses. Coupled with the bloodshed of the past few days, Su Yan's entire person had deteriorated greatly. He looked at Fairy Xia, took a deep breath and smiled. What wind blew the little fairy here? Su Yan's little fairy made Fairy Xia very happy. A pair of sparkling eyes looked at Su Yan as the corners of her mouth lifted into a beautiful arc. She said, Su Yan, you have exceeded my expectations in every aspect. To be able to reach this step, you are not simple. Fairy, please don't make fun of me. Su Yan's face was a mess, and his spirit was also weak. He said, if the two primordial spirits come here, I really won't be able to do anything. Your Tao Temple is really something. How dare you break the rules so brazenly? That's enough. Fairy Xia frowned slightly. The experts of the Tao Temple are already here. They will give you an explanation. I came here to get the 7 primordial spirits out, but I didn't expect you to have already killed him. Dead? Not necessarily. Su Yan glanced at the 7th primordial spirit. The 7th primordial spirit seemed to have been destroyed. His entire body was emitting a deathly aura. How could the 7th primordial spirit die like this? Fairy Xia walked in front of Su Yan. When she opened her mouth, she saw that Su Yan had stood up and was walking towards the 7th primordial spirit. He wanted to kill him completely, because he felt that the 7th primordial spirit wasn't completely dead yet. Su Yan, come here. I want to talk to you. Fairy Xia sat cross-legged, her delicate little hands supporting her cheeks. She tilted her head and looked at Su Yan, stopping him. Su Yan frowned. He came closer and also sat cross-legged, looking like he was all ears. The 4th primordial spirit, the 7th primordial spirit, the 8th primordial spirit, or the 9th primordial spirit that you killed. Fairy Xia smiled faintly. Actually, they're not the top young experts. The Chaos Valley has 9 primordial spirits, and the strongest is the 1st primordial spirit. But the 1st primordial spirit is valued by the Chaos Valley Master. Over the years, he has not been born. Fairy Xia solemnly said, the universe is incomplete, and the great Tao is incomplete. It cannot breed a complete expert. With the Chaos Valley's foundation, it is not difficult to cultivate almighty experts. There are many rare treasures in this world, but the truly difficult thing is to cultivate a taboo. Taboo? Can it be born? Su Yan was surprised. He knew that Fairy Xia's identity was not simple. This was very likely one of her incarnations. It can't be born, but it can be born in the future. Fairy Xia said with great certainty. The Chaos Valley Master raised the 1st primordial spirit as a future taboo. The other 8 primordial spirits are nothing in his eyes. He doesn't care if they die. It is difficult for someone who has lived for so long to care about emotions. You mean that the 1st primordial spirit is very strong? I can't beat him. Su Yan asked. Yes, you can't beat him. Su Yan, you are very strong. But how can the environment change? Even in the immortal graveyard, you may not be able to kill them. I can see that your path is not perfect. You have not created your own path. Fairy Xia said, Su Yan, you are very strong. Is the gap really that big? Su Yan did not doubt Fairy Xia. He knew that his own path was not perfect. Most importantly, Su Yan did not know how to break through the Divine King. The reason was that his cultivation path was too short. It had only been a few decades. This is the importance of the environment. Fairy Xia smiled faintly. You have already formed a grudge with the Chaos Valley. I'm afraid it cannot be resolved. In the future, you will either fall or stand up. There's only one path in front of you. You're talking about the Chaos Pagoda, right? Su Yan suddenly smiled. I know. Fairy Xia smiled mysteriously. Your tribe's old leader once ventured into the Hell Palace and even survived. I know this secret. Su Yan's face darkened. He really wanted to say, is your true body an old monster? Why does your Tao Temple exist? Su Yan asked calmly. Just think of it as the Tao Temple's greatest contribution to this broken universe. Fairy Xia said helplessly. The Tao Temple is not too ambitious. Otherwise, it would have become a forbidden zone. Su Yan, I think very highly of you. I hope that you can venture into the Hell Palace. Perhaps you can obtain something. The Hell Palace is very dangerous. The old leader said that there is a 90% chance of death. Su Yin looked unwilling. Fairy Zixia's face was full of disdain. I've shown you the way, but you don't want to go. Do you know what kind of history your tribe has and what kind of grievances you're involved in? Su Yin was moved. Fairy Zixia was indeed a know-it-all. It was obvious that she knew about the grudges and grievances of the Zong clan from ancient times. I hope Fairy Zixia can show me the way. Su Yin fell silent and listened attentively. He felt that what Fairy Zixia was about to say next was very heavy. He did not want to hear it. When darkness covers the sun, perhaps it will be the end of your tribe. Fairy Zixia clenched her jade-like hands. Her beautiful eyes looked at Su Yan's serious face. Her voice was soft and gentle. Now, let me tell you what happened back then, so that you won't lose your life without knowing why in the future.